All right, here we go. Big welcome to our newest official VladTV regular guest, Wack100.
I had my chance to work with the feds, so I chose you. They say, fuck it. I said, fuck it. I got to work with the feds. I'm working with Vlad.
There we go. Well, speaking of the feds, you actually texted me the other day, and you said, did the feds raid your office? And you sounded dead serious.
Yeah, they were arguing with me. They said the feds raided your office, took your drives, and that's what they're using against Keefe D. I said, bro, I've never heard that story. If they would have raided Vlad's office, it would have been just as big as Diddy's home being raided. They would have been there.
Yeah.
So they didn't believe me. I said, I'll call them right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I called you. Now, I didn't know that you were on Clubhouse at the time.
Yeah.
Because I had heard the whole recording.
Yeah.
Next time, please just tell me that this is being a recorded phone call. Just tell me that, okay?
All right.
Luckily, I didn't say anything crazy. But I actually listened to the whole Clubhouse conversation. There was a lady on there saying, Vlad's been raided by the feds. I have the footage. I'll send it to you. I'll send you the footage.
I told her, okay, where's it at?
I want to see this footage.
Yo.
I want to see.
Vlad, listen, bro. If they would have raided your office for any reason, fuck Keefe D.
Mm-hmm.
Any reason, that shit is everywhere.
Yeah.
You know that. I'm like,
Yes.
bro, I've never heard of Vlad. I said, Vlad has publicly stated that he didn't give him anything. And his whole interview was really based on the book.
Right.
So if you go get the book, you got the interview anyway.
Well, I'll play you the actual voicemail from Las Vegas, PD.
Good afternoon, Mr. Vlad. This is Alfred, investigator from District Attorney's Office. I left you numerous messages in regards to, receiving a video for an interview that you've done in the past with Keefe D, and I've not heard from you. Please give me a call back. Thank you.
And you never responded.
I never responded. As you could hear from the message, he's left me numerous phone calls. He has not heard back from me. I've publicly said that I'm not cooperating. I'm not going to give them anything.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Your interview is up on the internet.
Yeah.
So let's say you did get called to court. They subpoenaed you. You get on the thing. All you have to do is say, refer to the interview.
Yeah, we put out everything. In fact, at one point, Keefe and his writer, this was from the first interview, they went out the room to talk amongst themselves, and my cameraman looked at me and said, hey, Keefe still has his mic on. I said, turn it off. I said, I don't want to record anything outside. I don't do this hot mic business. You know what I mean? If you come and sit down with me, you know you're being recorded. You're wearing a wire right now.
I am.
Yes,
yeah.
That you put on yourself.
No.
My guy put it on for
you. Your
you.
guy put the wire on me.
Right.
This might be some federal shit going on there, right?
But you can see the wire right there under your chin. There it is. There's another microphone pointing at you, and there's 3 cameras that are pointing at you as we speak.
And one of them that follows me.
That's right. It moves around.
So
it moves around. You can't duck it.
I got one mic on me, one mic in front of me.
Yes. And 3 cameras.
3 cameras, one that follows me, whatever I do.
And those cameras all have their own built-in microphones as well. So you got 5 microphones listening to you right now.
You mic'd up.
There is no way in God you would think that this is a private conversation.
What about 3 big-ass lights on me?
3 big lights on you.
Hey, look, Vlad, you got to remember,
right.
I've tried it. If you, anything that's not ugly, they don't want to talk about it. Vlad being a blogger, somebody that built a platform that has a strong following, that just asks questions that the fans or the people want to hear, that's too simple. Vlad's a fed. Look, so then it's fuck Vlad. But they still gonna watch you.
Yeah.
So what's the, right? You know what I mean? I think if the Fed narrative wasn't there, they wouldn't watch you. So fuck it, let them ride with it, man.
That's right. Hey, man, look.
I don't, you bait us in over here. This is a trap. We don't know where we're going. There's not security at the door walking you in. You don't sit down. We don't know we're being recorded.
Yes.
And
you and I think there's a private conversation.
Yeah.
And somehow it's going to come out without you knowing. You can't see these cameras or mics.
It is what it is, man. This shit's hilarious, man.
Well, our last interview that we did, I brought up Keefe D. I didn't know about any business you had with Keefe D. You and I have never had a conversation.
Not at all.
About Keefe D. You did not talk about Keefe D in terms of what you were doing with him. I just brought him up because it was a topic that would relate overall to our interviews. And you volunteered an interesting piece of information. And what was that?
I said that I believe he has a bail, and I might just go bail him out if I could do some business with him.
Right. Which was a surprise to me.
Yeah, you had no idea.
I had no idea. I did not bait you into this question. This was not a private conversation we had that you told me not to mention. I just popped it out. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You did not tell me afterwards, hey, Vlad, don't put this part out.
Because you know why? And even today, I kind of got into it with the bail bondsman just the other day. Because the day when they called me, they said, hey, high profile case, they want you to go to a bail review hearing. I said, okay, what's it about? Because I've sent you all my stuff, ID, notarized, property information, everything, right? He said, they just want to make sure it's you, in fact, that are sending these things in. Anybody can have a copy of your ID. You could have got a notary to go do some bullshit, right? They could have just printed up some property that's yours and sent it in. They want you to go on record saying you are, in fact, the one doing these things, right? So maybe the night before, I get a call. He's like, hey, the attorney is saying you can't discuss if you want to do business with Keefe D. And I'm like, why? Why not? They're like, well, just don't discuss it. I'm like, well, I haven't done any contracts as of yet, but it's conversations of what I may want to do. I've contacted all my people around me to make sure it's doable, right? So they're like, just don't discuss it. I'm like, cool. So when it comes up, I was truthful with them. No, it's not a contract as of yet, but yeah, I'm definitely having conversations about doing some business. Why wouldn't I? So it took the judge 3-4 days to say, all right, I'm not gonna let him out. Now, the minute they did that, they countered, they appealed, because Son of Sam law states that you can't do business with a convicted criminal about what he's in jail for, things like that, right? Which I know that exists, but it's only one thing. Keefe D's not convicted.
Right. He's innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
So he's an innocent man right now.
Yeah, he's not convicted. He can go sell his house. Hell, I can go down there and do a deal with him about his, if you die, I want your liver.
Okay.
Submit it to the goddamn courts. No, this is real.
That's crazy.
The crazy part about it is they've allowed Keefe D to do a power of attorney with his family member. The jail. So if you're saying a person in jail can't do business, then why would you allow a power of attorney signing from the jail?
Well,
I think it's like a 14th Amendment right.
I get it. Because there was the bail hearing, and you zoomed in during the hearing, and after you zoomed in and they were asking you questions, they actually played a piece from our interview.
Yeah.
In open court.
Crazy.
I was not expecting this on any level.
I was like, yo, Vlad can't win for losing. Vlad's working with, they're gonna yell and scream, Vlad's working with the feds, this, that, and the other, and I'm shaking my head like, I didn't even know I was gonna bail the guy out. It was a thought. I thought about it. Driving here right now from Vegas, I started thinking about my life insurance policy. And I was like, you know what? Let me call my agent, my brother-in-law, Tony Bowers. Let me see, you know what? I'm putting money in these other accounts. Can I put money in the savings accounts that's attached to my life insurance and then kind of structure to where the interest it generates, it stays there. And if something was to happen where I was incapacitated or things got hard, they can draw from that to pay. You know, I'm thinking about these things, right? So I you know, when I'm thinking things, I'll talk about it. Keefe D at the time that me and you talked, I hadn't spoken to Keefe D, not one time since he's been gone.
Huh.
It was a thought. I knew where his son was. I knew how to get a hold of his son. So, you know, at the time we did the interview, it wasn't even, I knew he had a bail. The world knew he had a bail. And I'm like, you know what? I wonder. And that's the conversation we had.
Right. So my interview with you got played in open court where they basically tried to block the bail on the grounds of that interview, in a way?
That's what they tried to do.
Right.
And you can't, because it's not against the law for him to do business with somebody, right? Listen, even if he doesn't, let's say they block his bail, right? I can just say, okay, apply the funding I sent for the bail towards your legal. And I can still do a deal with him. I don't want to do a sit-down interview with Keefe D. If I did the bit, you've done that.
Yeah.
Right? And when Vlad gets a hold of you on several occasions, it ain't too many things you can really ask. I can talk about what was life like in the Vegas County Jail, right? So that's not my angle. I don't need Keefe D on the streets to do what I want to do. Because what I want to do involves and entails actors, his book, and it going to script form for the TV series. If I did anything at all. Yes, would it be great for Keefe D to be free? I think health-wise and going to trial, he has a fighting chance. You know, you look a little better walking in with a suit and tie than coming in with a county jail jumpsuit on the other side, and you talking about you on trial for the murder of killing Tupac Shakur.
Well, yeah. In the actual bail hearing, what you said, which was kind of interesting, is that you say you're not always truthful when it comes to interviews on the internet because it's the internet.
It's the internet. Yeah, you're right. And at that point in time, I'm knowing where they're going next. They're going to Clubhouse. And on Clubhouse, you got to feed the giant.
Yeah.
Right? Now, when you sit down with Vlad, you got to remember, if you're not truthful on Vlad, it's a setup. Vlad is asking you questions that he's either read on, you've already commented on, or maybe he think you didn't really go too deep into what you were talking about. He's trying to pull more out of it. You don't search. You've already did your research.
Right.
So to bullshit Vlad, you bullshitting yourself, because then somebody's going to double back to another interview and then they're going to start saying you're not credible. But I'm thinking, because, you know, I've talked about it on Clubhouse. So you remember, I had no idea it was a problem with me attempting to do business with Keefe D until the night before the hearing.
Yeah, I was actually shocked because from what I understand, the only way that you putting up bail for someone gets shot down is if the money was illegal. Like if it came from drug money or something like that, and you can't prove that this is clean money, then they could say no.
Or if the individual that's incarcerated is in there for drugs or fraud. If they're in there for drugs or fraud, then at that point in time, even then, they're just gonna comb through where the money comes from, right? They gotta make sure that you yourself hasn't, did business with this individual to where you're holding his money. So they'll go through all your things. They'll see like $500,000 deposit. Now these days, Vlad, you can no longer deposit cash into nobody's bank account unless you have an account at that bank.
Yeah.
Back in the days, you could walk in, deposit cash somebody's account.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
back in the days.
I didn't know that.
Probably about 7, 8 years ago.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, I could just walk in and just deposit cash to the account, and I'm out of here. Now, if you have a Wells Fargo account, and I walk in with $100,000 to deposit your account, I have to have a Wells Fargo account.
Okay.
They're gonna show it came from this individual that's tied to this account. So it's still a footprint of where it comes from. But nevertheless, I gave them things that were solely and primarily me. And I'm not gonna lie, Vlad, I'm a different read. You watch me on social media, you say, okay, we hear him, we know he does this, he does that, but then my setup, how I'm set up, is totally different from the character you hear on social media. So when it comes down to it, and they're looking at, okay, some bank statements, I gave you a corporate account, just me. Real estate, I gave you real property, right? It's just me. This property is a half a mile from the GWB. It's sitting on the water. 4 stories with an elevator in it. Probably brand new 5, 6 years ago, right? Gave them 50% down on it. So, it not only is it equity in it from the down, it's equity in it from the value of it going up, right? So, I just think they're a little bothered. You remember, Vlad, I got a little history in that court. Remember, Blueface was in there for attempted murders. I drive out there overnight, get the attempted murder reduced, bail him out the same day, right? They say, well, house arrest, he doesn't have any property. I own one out here. I will go ahead on and sign this lease over to him. He can stay there. So it's like every time it comes to my name, my ducks are always in order. And I think that's really what it was, because the judge knows who I am from previous cases of me helping people.
I remember Keefe was in court, I guess, saying that his cancer is coming back because of the processed food and so forth.
Yeah, he's he's been trying to get to outside health, but once you're in that county jail, if you're not dying, it's that sickly, they're not hearing nothing you're talking about. So when you got these cancers going on, it went into remission, right? But now you're in there, you're not eating healthy, you're not, it's coming back. So he's supposed to had a furlough to go to an outside doctor, but it's been months, so. Yeah, and plus, let's be real, you 60 years old, bro, in there for the murder of one of the top 5 famous rappers in the world, and knowing the evidence, majority of the evidence, is from what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll stress you the fuck out. You 60.
Yeah.
You're not 20.
Yeah. Yeah. No, look, I remember he talked about having cancer a while back. And at the end of the day, I hope they let him out. Honestly.
Either way it go, he got to fight the case.
I have nothing against Keefe. He came in to do 2 interviews. I paid him for both interviews. And from what I understand, the defense is going to be that he made up all this information for money. And he wasn't even in Las Vegas. And I can't verify that any of the stuff that he said was true. So if they ask me, did I pay him for the interview? Yes, I did. Did you verify everything he said was true? No, I did not.
Well, from my understanding, you read the book.
I read the book. It was all in the book.
And you questioned him based on what he wrote in the book. Now, What's crazy is I did my research because I wanted to see if the book was fiction or nonfiction. How was it rated? It's not rated at all.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we talked about this last time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just we don't know. And what they're trying, because Foxy Brown was mentioned in the book. In the book. Well, yeah, in the book. And I remember I mentioned this in our interview, and he kind of said he started dancing around the topic a little bit. But what he said was after Orlando got jumped, they met up with Eric Von Zip, and they got the gun, and Foxy was there with him. People were mentioning when they did the math. With Zip, yeah. People are doing the math. Foxy was like 18 years old at the time. So people are kind of wondering why Foxy, an 18-year-old Foxy, is hanging out with a guy who's probably close to 40 years old at the time. So that's a little bit interesting.
Foxy from Harlem? I don't know.
Foxy's from Brooklyn, I think.
Brooklyn?
Yeah. And I guess they're trying to get Foxy on the stand, to basically corroborate the story, because that'll place...
Zip gave him the gun.
Yeah, and that would place Keefe in Las Vegas. But I seriously, seriously doubt that Foxy's going to cooperate. Knowing what I know about Foxy, I don't see this.
Foxy's not. Because that's just based on what Keefe said.
Right.
And Keefe's not going to press the issue of, yes, you were there. Keefe's sitting there saying he's bullshitting. So, I talked to him. He was en route to you. He stopped at my studio. And this when I was wanting to negotiate Baby Lane's life rights.
Okay.
And he came to see me, he said, I'm out here to go do Vlad. And he was with Big Bruce. And he said, you know, he put me with his sister. And he let me know that him and his sister is kind of like, you know, at odds. So he like, she ultimately and I didn't know that Baby Lane had like 3 daughters.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that, right? So ultimately, those are the people I would have to sit down and do the business with, between the daughters and the mom for life rights. So, you know, at this time, Keefe D is running around doing what he's doing. I understood his story, but I was thinking like it's more value in Orlando. Once they arrested Keefe D, I'm thinking they're gonna let him go. He ain't doing it. Once I sat back at 6 months, 9 months, I'm like, shit. This dude is OJ Part 2. And they're televising it.
Yeah.
So this dude is really going on trial for the murder of Tupac, for killing Tupac.
Yeah.
And they're televising it.
Yeah, the whole world will watch it.
The whole world's watching.
Yeah.
And the whole world's watching BMF.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching BMF. And we didn't see that trial.
No.
We just heard stories.
Well, there wasn't a trial. They played out.
Again,
Yeah.
we didn't see that trial. We heard stories.
Yep.
And we're all watching. They left 2005. It's 19 years later. Let's say 17 years have been running the last couple years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, book's out. Baby Lane, a book had to be written. His story's within that story. This dude really had to go to trial. Might be something here. Those are my thoughts before I sat down with you. That's what it was. I'm doing the math, and I was off because I'm used to California bail being 10%. I was off because I thought it was $75,000.
How much was it?
Nevada's 15%.
Okay, so it's 100.
112.5.
112, yeah.
Right? You know, I didn't realize what it was. So, but they definitely used it, and the whole time they were handling me like I'm on trial, like I'm part of the case. I'm just here to say, yes, I provided the funds. Yes, it's my property. And it was certain questions they were asking me like, well, did somebody send you the money? Let's say I said, you know what? Hey, Vlad, look, brother, I'm down on my luck, right? You know I'm good for it. We done made millions of dollars together, right? I need you to loan me $112,500. It's the exact number. This is what I want to do. Brother, I need a year on it. Give me a year. If it comes back prior to, I'll start getting it back to you. And you say, you know what, Wack? You good for it. We done made some money, and you sent it to me, right? And I took that 112.5 and I sent it to the bail bondsman, right? So what? I can still show a wire, let's just say if this is the case, coming from Vlad to me, and me to the bondsman.
Yeah.
So either way it goes, and I was like, what is your angle?
Right, and my money wouldn't be illegal, so who cares?
As long as the trail goes back to everybody that's clean, I was wondering what the angle was. I'm like, well, even if somebody, let's say I was the middle, let's say I borrowed it, whatever I did, as long as it came from a clean source, it wouldn't matter.
So is there a follow-up bail hearing?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Which is July 5th, 6th, 7th, 9th.
So you expect on the 9th that it'll go through and he'll be let out?
The attorneys are saying they're 100% sure. Something about the 14th Amendment right was violated.
Okay.
The things they were asking shouldn't have had no bearing effect on anything. In fact, you showed the money came from you. You showed the property is your real property. That was all that was supposed to be. And they turned that thing into a, fuck it, I made CNN. Wack100 made CNN. Little old Wack from Pacoima, California made CNN. Now, I hope when I launch Incredible Diapers, me and Nick Cannon in Walmart, on the U.S. side, I hope when all my deals are closed in Africa and the Congo and Nigeria, I hope I can make CNN for that.
Probably not.
Because if I...
Not like this. Positivity does not spread like that.
Yo,
Sorry.
listen, it's crazy. I can make it
is.
for Keefe D
Yeah,
because of bail.
you're not going to make it with the
But
diaper.
Incredible Diapers is on Amazon.
Right.
I can't make... CNN, can you guys report that they are, in fact, on Amazon?
Well, since our last interview, Kendrick Lamar had the pop-out concert.
Man. Definitely.
He opened it up with Euphoria, and he added some lyrics that basically told Drake that he'll respect him if he gives the Tupac ring back.
Oh, he paid him like $1 million for that ring.
Yeah, he bought that ring.
Yeah.
There's actually an interesting story behind that ring. I think it was like $500,000.
I don't know.
It was
Who'd he get it from?
Well, here's the interesting part. Yaki Gaddafi's mom had that ring.
Okay.
Now,
That's his stepbrother.
They kind of grew up together. Afeni and Yaki's mom were really close. So basically, Pac had Yaki around him all the time.
Uh-huh.
And then after Pac died, Yaki took it like the hardest because he was the one that actually was with Tupac since he was like a kid. Yaki was a few years younger, so this was like Pac's little brother in a way. So Yaki went back to the hood in New Jersey. He started hanging out, started messing with drugs a little bit, started messing with some other dudes who would take drugs with him. And this one time, Yaki was at his girl's house. These two guys, two friends of his came by. They go in the hallway messing around. They're like kind of wrestling and stuff. One of them pulled out a gun as a joke. Yeah, because, oh man, you ain't gonna do nothing with that motherfucking gun. Quit playing around. And the gun went off and killed him.
Oh.
The guy went on the run. Napoleon was somehow related to the guy and convinced him to turn himself in. He turned himself in and he ended up doing some prison time.
What's the one that's overseas?
Napoleon.
Yeah,
he lives in Saudi Arabia.
That's a good dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
very good dude. Yeah, I talked to him all the time.
I spoke with him a few times.
Yeah, very good dude. He had to take the flag. Yeah.
He's really in his lane, what he's doing.
Yeah, no, he turned Muslim. He moved to Saudi Arabia. He turned his whole life around. He doesn't rap anymore. He doesn't swear. He doesn't do music because I guess if you're a strict Muslim, you can't actually do music.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And it was a very, very sad story. And Yaki's mom had that ring and she sold it at auction a couple years back. It was like a Sotheby's auction.
Oh. So Drake didn't even get it directly from her?
He got it from auction. Yeah. And there's a little bit of a gray area because technically the ring belongs to the Tupac estate, but I think that they were so cool that they just let her just kind of run with it. So that's how Drake got the ring. And, of course, Kendrick said, yeah, give me the, give the ring back and I'll respect you.
Well, at the end of the day, Kendrick, although he's not a gangbanger, Kendrick from Compton.
Yeah.
And Kendrick's upbringing, he knows how it goes, as we say, when it's on. And it's been on, and people are seeing a side of Kendrick, that they haven't seen. And he's not letting up. I mean, I don't think the video's out yet, right?
No, it's not out.
The video is, I believe it's going, we seen the crowd, we seen all that, but as we know, when it come down to that edit, I think it's gonna deal some type of blow. It's gonna be some things in there.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna rock social media.
Well, yeah, that was an epic concert. Dr. Dre introduced Not Like Us. He came on stage. Kendrick performed the song 5 times.
I don't think that was by design. The crowd,
was
what it looked like, kept demanding it.
Yeah. Yeah, and he managed to essentially unite all the LA gangs on stage.
Well, that's the thing, Steve, now. We can't do that because that waters down Los Angeles. Because what happened was, when you look at the stage is 90% Don Moves, Bloods, and Paul Rules.
Huh, okay.
Right? And then you had a few Crips in there. So I don't think Kendrick set out to unite the Crips and Bloods. That wasn't his angle. I think Kendrick set out to pull up those up-and-coming underground artists of greater LA that him and DJ Head is not getting the just due he should get, felt that was grinding and that had never touched the stage of that magnitude. just so happened you got the PG Pericos, you got the Zoe Osamas, 8-9 East Coast, Broadway. You got, and whoever else was in there. I don't think Kendrick's whole thing was to unite the Crips and Bloods. His whole thing was to show unity amongst all. And guess what? If you one of those that's been hustling and been getting it, and you just so happen to be a Crip or a Blood or whatever you may be, come on, we welcome it all with open arms. He had enough G homies up there to where it was gonna be cool. But all of these dudes, we good with. Like, that's been over the last 15 years, that's been our thing anyway, right? Is to put aside the gangbang aspect of this music industry thing. And within doing that, when we do videos or we show up to studios with each other, to this artist, it's gangbang friends are there and it's gangbang friends with the opposition, but we're all coexisting in one space. So what he did was definitely monumental. It was a big thing. I miss Joe Moses. I felt like Joe Moses should have been on stage.
I agree.
He's been grinding for quite some time.
Yeah.
But other than that, you can't take away from it. Kendrick allowed his platform, which is huge, in a situation where he could have just took all the light and he allowed his light to, to be shedded on those that's up and coming. And, it was a great look.
Yeah, I thought that was a historical LA moment.
Great.
Historical. Now, a lot of people are wondering why Game wasn't there.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If Game shows up, we had an 8 o'clock curfew. It's paying attention. 8 o'clock, it was over with, right? Snoop wasn't there as well, right? So let's Game shows up and he takes 15, 20 minutes of the stage time. Snoop shows up and takes 15, 20 minutes of the stage time. Those 30 or 40 minutes, do they add to Snoop or Game, or does it take away from that up-and-coming underground artist? Right? It does nothing for Game or Snoop. They're Game and Snoop. They've taken these stages millions of times. But what it will do is take away from the underground artist. If Game felt it was a need for him to be there, he would have been there. If Kendrick or anybody from that camp would have hit Game and be like, yo, bro, we need you to pull up just because, whatever. But far as us understanding that Kendrick's really positioning and doing some of the things that Drake always does with these underground artists. Drake always does it, He does it in different formats. He'll go feature or he'll post or, things of that nature. And Kendrick doing what he's done, it was no need to take away because then Zoe Samalu, you know what, we got Game. Game won 20 minutes. Zoe, you had 10 and BG Perico, you had 10. So, maybe we can give y'all like 2 quick minutes. Why do that? Everybody wants to make it like it's a problem. There's no problem with Game and Kendrick.
Yeah, no, I didn't take it that way. But, the internet's going to be the internet. Game actually did a live where he addressed it.
Yeah.
Now, but didn't you mention afterwards that he has a baby on the way?
Definitely got a baby.
With,
you met her. Remember the first? We had to stop and let her in?
Oh.
I had no idea. I didn't even know who she was.
This is Eva Lozada's daughter, Shanice Hairston.
There it goes.
I actually brought that up about how they were spotted at like Nobu.
Yeah,
and he was like, she's a beautiful person and whatever.
I met Shanice and we met over Instagram and we went on a date to Nobu and we had a good time. We had a great time. And she's an amazing person and she's really sweet. One of the sweetest people that I've ever met. She's a real sweet girl. And the internet took it and made it, what it was, and TMZ took it and made it what it was. But she's an amazing girl, and we had a good time.
He didn't talk about how they got a baby on the way, but that's his
I
business.
didn't know until they wanted people to know when it came out. Well, I ain't gonna lie, I knew. Well, I knew he was expecting, but all of us, when it's in those earlier stages, we're a little, you know how shit goes, right?
Yeah.
So we want to wait till you get to that, you know, 3rd, 4th month till we know things are kind of healthy and it's,
Yeah.
you know, things happen, right? So, you know, we make an announcement at 6 weeks, you know, we got a baby on the way, and then 4 or 5 months later, they're like, what happened? Now we got to make another
Yeah,
announcement.
miscarriage or whatever else.
Miscarriage
Right.
or-
But didn't you say that she was having complications? That's why he stayed home?
Well, when I talked to him, when I called him, I was like, yo, what you got up for tonight? He said, I'm in with the missus. You know, she pregnant, so
Yeah.
I'm in with the missus.
Yeah.
And, you know, as a father,
As he should.
we
Man,
know
forget that concert. There's more important things that.
Kendrick did his thing. Kendrick had his moment.
Yeah.
Everybody did their thing. All the homies on stage, the ones that kept the peace, the homies. I think the only 2 people they was missing was
Game and Stoop.
no, they wasn't missing them because I think they would have took up some of the underground all this time. Only 2 people that was missing was Coyote, which would have solidified the LA culture. That was the Hispanic side of the community.
Okay.
Because they've been grinding, right? And Coyote was a group that was at one time signed to me, and we did a lot. We went out on tour, we came back, and then COVID hit. And when COVID hit, everything shut down. They kept grinding, they kept grinding. They came to me, they're like, listen, can we buy out of the contract? And I looked at them and I looked at the numbers I had spent, right? And they some good kids. I met their wives and shit, you know, their children. And I was like, you know what? You know, all right, I mean, it was like maybe 10, 15% of what I'd spent. Cause I wanted to see how serious they were, right? And they're like, all right, it was time to get it together. And he calls me maybe like a month later, and my attorney's telling me I'm crazy. No, what do you mean? I'm looking at everything you spent. You know, you gotta remember, I took them to Europe, both of them. That was on my dime. Their flights, spot on the bus, the rooms, feed them. You know, we out there 30, 40 days, Dubai. Even got to Dubai, and because it was their first time being gone, I flew their wives in. You know what I'm saying? I flew their wives in from LA to Dubai because we had been gone damn near a month and a half. I'm like, bro, you want, I'll fly your wives in to kick it with y'all. Because, you know, once we get to Dubai, it's like this kind of like club events we do, right? And, you know, I did a lot, spent a lot of money, but, you know, they good dudes. So when they came with it, and they like, Wack, we got that number. And my attorney's looking at me like, you know you about to take a hit. I said, you know what? I value the friendship more than doing this. And I went ahead on and let them out. But I'm still there. They can still come use the studio, all my resources, whatever they need. You know, anybody I do business with, I like to keep the foundation right. And every chance I get, I make sure I market them and promote them and keep going, because one day those boys they're gonna be big. They hard worker, they're very creative. Shaq stepped to the plate, supported them. You know what I mean? And I see everybody else plugging into them. And you know, my support is there. But I think Coyote was probably the only thing missing to solidify the LA community with the Hispanic situation.
Well, there's also Lefty Gunplay.
But see, with Lefty, the thing about Lefty, and I really want to talk to Lefty now. Never met him. I never met him. The thing about Lefty is, I think the bigger he gets, and Vlad, I think you can relate to what I'm about to say. The bigger he gets, the more he's spiraling out. And somebody got to grab him because he's been to prison. So it ain't like he needs to understand that. He understands that. I'm scared that if Lefty gets that boost, he might be another story. I just saw him faint the other day on stage.
Well, I guess there was some more footage that came out that shows that he wasn't fainting, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, you know, but I'm watching even his interviews. You know, I could be wrong. You know, dude be a little loaded. You know what I'm saying? He be a little loaded. You know, but that's my scare part of him. Do I want him to win? Yeah, win. I don't have nothing against him.
Yeah.
For some reason, he thinks I have something against him, and I don't know him. Adam set me up with him. Adam brought his name up, and I said, yo, do you know of Lefty Gunplay? I didn't know who the hell Lefty Gunplay was. And I said something, right? Like, oh man, that dude probably don't shoot with his left or his right. I'm trolling because I honestly, at the time, didn't know that it was a real person. And then they come to find out, not only is he a real person, he's a Mexican, and he's a Southsider. So I said, oh yeah, they gonna take this and run with it. As he did, man, so get your clout up, I'm not tripping.
Weren't you talking about being in the Not Like Us video shoot?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, because I mean, there's a clip on No Jumper, and it was titled, Why Wasn't Wack at Kendrick's Not Like Us video shoot? You're in the actual clip.
Me?
Yeah, this is
What does it say? Play it.
Over the weekend, we saw nearly every notable blood coming together in LA behind Kendrick. Where were you?
If I want to talk to Kendrick or see Kendrick, I can talk to Kendrick or see Kendrick. I talk to Top Dog at least twice a week, right? The whole team is family, right? What Kendrick was there to do, right? What did it have to do with me? That's real.
and so forth and so forth.
That's real. And you got to remember, like, not for nothing, Vlad, I was telling my girl this on my way here. I'm like, somebody invites me to the club. You know why I go to Live? To go see my brother headline Mike for the running. I don't go to Live for Live because I didn't live a zillion times.
Were you considering going to the pop-up to Kendrick's concert?
No, not at all. I was in my I'm one of those dudes that where if you're not on me about it, I forget. I was in my studio reconstructing my podcast room, stressing the fuck out because I couldn't find one of my pod stands, right? So by the time I realized it, I go to looking for the guy. I'm like, hey, bro, where you at? Because I know you know where this stuff is at. He like, the concert, this is how I knew it was over 8 o'clock. The concert's over 8 o'clock sharp. I'm like, what concert, right? He like, the Kendrick concert. So I totally forgot. Personally, that's when I hit Game. I say, Game, did you go to the... He like, nah, bro, you know, I'm at home with the missus. She pregnant, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm at the studio. So I was in the studio till like 2, 3 o'clock that morning. You know, when you tearing everything out, I'm trying to figure out, because coming to your setup and going to Adam's setup, all my cameras were mounted on the walls, right? And it was giving me like this angle thing. I'm like, yo, I don't need that. Find my stands, right? And there's no reason why I can't execute the same way Vlad and Adam executes. So I was in there all night doing that, and what I did, I set everything up the way I set it up, and I got 4 or 5 black magics, right? So you can imagine, Vlad, me taking all these things off, put them on the 4 pods I could find, wires going everywhere. I done tore desks out of there, and I set it up the way I wanted it, and then I had to call my guy Lewis, right? I said, all right, now come over here and clean this stuff up. And he just got that done yesterday, actually. So that's what it was. I mean, I don't know why people making a big deal out of it. Half those people gonna be at Game's pool party tonight. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, you talked about how Drake is still safe in California.
Yeah, people still love Drake.
I mean, I didn't think he was ever not safe in
Yeah,
California.
they're trying to run his narrative. Drake is Drake.
Yeah.
I don't think Kendrick's on the I want to do something to Drake. This is for real a rap battle beef. For real. It's straight up song for song, bar for bar, creativity for creativity. Drake started to get some backlash, I see, for the AI. I thought the AI shit was genius. It was like a troll.
You thought it was genius?
Yeah, because it was a troll.
I didn't like it.
No, it wasn't there.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
It wasn't there to sell. It was there to be talked about, because it was kind of, remember the rumor was Kendrick's gonna take forever to drop.
Yeah.
So Drake had dropped and Kendrick hadn't responded.
Yeah.
So that came after the Drake's drop. And I think he was trying to troll, right? He was trolling with it, because obviously he couldn't stream it, couldn't DSP it, right? They know they was gonna pull it down as they did. And I think it just kind of like, it backfired on him, because at that point, I think it pissed Kendrick off. Because at that point, Kendrick put up the 38 and started firing that goddamn bazooka. And kept firing and still hasn't stopped.
Oh, yeah, no. Not Like Us has 5 times the streams of Family Matters. Now people are gonna say, "Oh, it's bots," but everyone's got bots that they really need.
That's not.
You could clearly tell down to the BET Awards recently with Taraji getting on stage dressed up like Kendrick.
Bro.
It's a moment. Everyone's fucking with the song. That's the biggest song.
That's a
that
fact.
song has basically eclipsed the whole battle.
That's a fact.
Right?
That's a fact.
No one's talking about, Euphoria. No one's talking
Everybody's
about
talking about
push-ups.
that.
No one's talking about, the Heart Part 6 or whatever else. People are talking about Not Like Us. And that just became the winner of the battle. And it is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, they trying to turn, Drake had a situation with the security up there.
Yeah, he got shot.
Whatever they.
And I thought that was the end of the battle on Drake's behalf.
I mean, I really just think shit started to happen because people were doing shit. It was a store down in the UK, OVO store.
Yeah, he got spray painted.
Spray painted, right? So, people start trolling, start doing things. Now, this last situation just happened where they want to put on Drake as if they put things on Kendrick.
What last situation?
With Rick Ross, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was about Drake, but it wasn't Drake. I got the call immediately. Actually, it's on my phone. The world still hasn't heard it, right? They asked him to turn the song off. He was done with his set. And he didn't want to turn the song off, right? Really, that wasn't Drake's team. It's a guy up there in Canada that's respected, a guy named Mercules. You ever interviewed Mercules?
Mm-mm.
You need to. DJ K. Slay introduced me to him years ago. Him and Drake run in the same circles, but I think Mercules and Ross got some issues. I think if he'd have turned the song off, it would have been cool, but I mean, that's Canada. That's like Drake. If Drake went to the Forum right now and performed Family Matters,
It'd be a problem.
It'd be a problem.
Yeah.
The crowd will respond.
Yeah, I mean, look,
You know
I
what
had
I'm saying?
Boosie on my show recently, and he didn't like the whole battle at all because from his point of view, coming from Baton Rouge, he said 95% of the murders in the city are over rap beef.
Once I got to a point in life when hip-hop beef affected me and all the people I was around, and, I choose not to agree with it, Vlad. Most of my beefs came from people rapping about me. Street wars came from people rapping about me. Once I got older and I enjoyed watching it when it was Pac and Biggie. When Pac came back, I was a Tupac head, but I was 12 and 13 years old. I never experienced a rap beef when I got to rapping at 15 that didn't result in somebody losing their life. 95% of the murders in my city are rap beef. Chicago, 95% of the murder. And once you get a grown man, you realize every rap beef has led to destruction.
And we started going through it. I'm like, well, that's not really like that in hip-hop in general. We started going down the list of all the hip-hop battles. And I started to notice that actually most of the battles had some sort of violent aspect that would happen to it. Down to like Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown, there's a shooting in front of Hot 97. I interviewed, Gutta, who went to jail over that shooting. The Eazy-E NWA battle. There was some violence that happened at the Jack the Rapper conventions and stuff like that. Like, not everyone gets killed like Tupac and Biggie, but there's usually some violence around it. And now the Drake and, Kendrick battle, there is some violence around it as well. So,
and that's what makes this rap beef so monumental. It's not built on any of that. There's not even an inkling of that anywhere. There's nobody on Kendrick's side saying, we can't wait to run into Drake. There's nobody on Drake's side saying, we're gonna drop a bag on Kendrick. Actually, it's people in the middle of it that's talking to both sides who said, all right, are we done? We're done. Drake knew they was gonna shoot a video. He was they gonna shoot this video, okay, cool, right? So there's none of that. What Boosie was talking about, that's what it shouldn't have been, because you really was dealing with a lot of stupidity and a lot of BS, and a lot of that was driven by conflict, pre-existing conflict that was already there. You in Baton Rouge, you got this camp and this camp. They already beefing. They've been beefing 10, 15, 20 years over this robbery, that chick, this homie got stabbed in the jailhouse, or whatever. This is Drake and Kendrick. So let's analyze it. What was Kendrick's first world tour?
Well, he opened up for Drake.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's look at the history.
Yeah.
I just named the history of what probably happened in Baton Rouge or these other cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Their history start with Drake allowing Kendrick to go on his world tour, right? Okay, great. Somewhere in there, I still don't know, maybe you know, right? We can both say that helped Kendrick.
Yeah.
Right? Somewhere in there, something happened with Drake and Kendrick.
Yeah, no one's
I
really
don't
sure.
know where.
No one's really sure, because I remember I did a poll. I said, who really started the Drake and Kendrick beef? And it was like 50-50 with like thousands of votes. Like, no one really understands who said what, when, where, whatever. It could be just a general competition thing.
I don't know. Maybe it was a line. It was a bar.
There's a control verse. There's this.
Ooh, you hear that? People, fans start saying he's talking about him. But what I do know, it wasn't, nobody got robbed. Nobody got shot. He had sex with my girl.
Yeah.
He took some money from me. None of these things factor into whatever went on from their start, which was positive, right? Touring together, to whatever happened in the middle. It had nothing to do with any of that stuff, to how it ended now. And it was bar for bar, song for song, creativity for creativity. You know what I'm saying?
I did a tweet that started to go viral, and I said it's very interesting because, you know, Kendrick essentially did a victory lap with a pop-out show. And you had people like YG, who Drake has done features for, on stage with Kendrick. And what I noticed was, if you look at Drake, he has essentially made the careers of a lot of underground artists.
Can't take that from
You cannot. I did the Migos' first interview in 2013 in Atlanta. Coach K said, hey, do me a favor. If you interview my new group, the Migos, that are just a local Atlanta group, I'll give you a Gucci Mane interview, which he never did. And I remember right after that interview, and I'd never heard of him before, they had a mixtape that was just kind of buzzing in Atlanta. Birthday bash happened a couple days later. They ran into Drake. Drake had heard the mixtape. He jumped on Versace, and the Migos took off and never looked back. Black Boy JB, local Memphis artist. Drake jumps on his song, and I interviewed him, and he, Drake was working with Keefe. They were working on the song. He let Black Boy, jump on it, and he gave the song to Black Boy. Say, here, it's yours. You can have it. So the song, Look Alive, was that song already done? And did Drake jump on it afterwards, or how did that whole thing happen?
Man, actually, it was like a gift. Like, he was like, I was thinking it was gonna be his song too. And to be honest, I was thinking it was gonna be his song too, cause like he hit me up and like he wanted to work, and like I was like, okay, it's cool, but of course if you're gonna jump on there, it's Drake. But I was thinking like it was gonna be his song, and I had the song like the next day, like he just like he was ready. And so when I had hopped on, then I hopped on it the next day. Bam, we was finna drop it. I was like, so what are we gonna do? What we gonna do like towards who song it is? He's like, you trust me, just give it to you. Just trust me. I'm gonna get. He just just give it to you.
Young Blue jumped on his song. Blue, blew up after that over and over again. None of these people jumped up to help Drake on any level.
Okay, well,
none of them. You would think. Now, granted, they don't have to.
Let me ask you, do you think Drake needed help?
It's not that he needed help.
He didn't need no help.
It's not that he needed help, but like everyone's doing a victory lap with Kendrick, whereas all the people, and none of the people that were there with Kendrick, did Kendrick transform their lives by doing features for them for free and totally transformed their careers.
Stop. Who was there with Kendrick? Zoe Sama, 89th Street East Coast Crip. BG Perico, Broadway Gangster, right? These is local LA dudes, right?
Yes.
YG, they both from Bompton, right? You got Westside Power Root Treetop, right? Who else we had up there? The Whoops. That's NWA. That's Nella's West Anthony. That's Kendrick's backyard. That's where he grew up at.
Right.
Right? So everybody that was there had some type of tie in some sort of way to Kendrick.
I get that. All I'm saying is...
You think, why would the Migos get involved? Why would Black Boy JB get involved? Why would any of these dudes get involved?
If you transform my life, if I was a thousandaire and now I'm a millionaire because of you, like, I rock with Boosie. When I see some fuck shit going on with Boosie, I'll jump in sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Just because that's my man.
But listen.
You know, we made a lot of money together.
Who did that? Academics did that. They can't do what Academics did. Act did that for Drake. He was fighting hand and foot for Drake. Anything possible he's seen, he could shed some light on or shed some darkness on Kendrick, he did that for Drake. End of the day, none of those artists could have made a difference in what Drake was doing. Kendrick fought his own fight. Was there any features?
No. I'm just saying. But Kendrick also didn't transform artists' lives in the same way that Drake did. You don't see Kendrick jumping on an unknown West Coast rapper song and suddenly the song goes platinum and now that person's going to tour off that song for the next 10 years. Okay. Me personally, even A$AP Rocky said that Drake was the first one to really help him out. Like, these people have said on camera that Drake transformed their lives. The Migos could have just ended up going back and working 9-to-5 jobs.
Gotcha. No, listen.
It just is what it is. If you transform my life and I could tour off this Drake song forever and he just did it for free, because none of these guys could afford a Drake feature at the time. Let's keep that in mind.
So you're saying
he didn't charge anybody.
It would have been smart.
I don't think
it would have been smart for those guys to make a Kendrick Lamar enemy. I don't even think Drake would have wanted them to do that. If Drake helped them,
yeah,
boost their career,
I would have stepped up.
I don't think Drake would have wanted them to make a move like that. That would have countered that.
I'm saying I wouldn't have even gotten permission from Drake. If Drake transformed my life, I would have been like, yo, I'm riding with Drake. I might drop a song. I might take a shot, whatever else, just to show a level of appreciation for what he did for me for free. At Kendrick.
So you think it's smart and why? See, I gotta say this.
Listen,
Vlad, I gotta say this, Vlad.
Yeah.
See, Vlad, I think you seeing our people in a different light, right?
Okay.
Y'all used to be able to play us against each other, right?
No,
That shit you talking about, Vlad.
No, I'm not talking about that.
I gotta say it. Vlad, you showing signs.
No.
You want two black people doing a rap beat. You want the other black people to attack the other black man, and both these black men.
Okay. Let me
what
put
are
it
you
like this.
talking
Let me
about?
put it like this. When one of the biggest streamers in the world, Aiden Ross, did a bait and switch with Boosie. I don't know if you remember this whole story, but what had happened was Aiden Ross, was going to pay Boosie a certain amount of money to be on his stream. Boosie agreed. Cool. He went to the store, shopping. Boosie always wears a new outfit every interview. As he's shopping, Aiden's people call him and said, hey, listen, we're going to switch up the situation. Instead of you just coming on our show, we're going to have Charleston White on the show, and the two of y'all are going to be on the show together.
Boosie not going to do that.
Because it'll go viral. Now, Boosie doesn't fuck with Charleston because Charleston talked about his kids.
Yeah, he ain't
so
gonna
Boosie said, no, I'm not doing that. And he canceled it. And then Aiden said, I canceled my stream with Boosie because of my loyalty to Charleston. I seen that, and I'm like, you know something, man? Fuck Aiden Ross. And Aiden Ross is Jewish.
I'm going to be real.
And I publicly said to the point where Aiden had to respond, and I said, fuck Aiden Ross. And this is the biggest streamer, almost, him and Kyson out of the two biggest streamers in the world. I said, fuck him. He's white, I'm white, he's Jewish, I'm Jewish. I'm like, fuck him. How are you going to, you're Jewish, and you're going to have Charleston White who said, Hail Hitler, and you're going to do a bait and switch with Boosie? I said, fuck Aiden Ross. And when he responded, oh, Vlad's old, he's 60, I said, fuck you, you're a junkie. You'll be lucky if you get to my age. And that started a whole back and forth just because I fuck with Boosie. And that's where my loyalty lies.
So that was blogger against blogger?
Pretty much.
Now, Aiden Ross got a pretty big
Huge
deal,
following,
right?
Huge following, bigger following than me.
Vlad, huge following.
Yes.
Right? Any of them people you name that Drake helped uplift, do you think they could have stood up to a Kendrick attack? Would it helped them?
I think it would have been notable. People would have paid attention to it.
But what would it have done? They would have created an enemy. I don't think Drake wants any of those people that he helped to create enemies, because then that roadblocks the help.
Hey, listen,
Let's
we're all
just
different.
be real. Now let's talk about it. Who did do that?
Nobody.
Bullshit.
Who did it?
I'm gonna ask you one more time. Who did do it? Did it the safest way, the most respectable way? Is one artist that did it. You know what, Punk? You on the sideline taking jabs, and you really ain't got nothing to do with this shit. Here comes Mr. Chuck Taylor and Rick Ross. Right? Now, one thing I can say, 100, I know, because it's me and Game song. He did the verse for free, 250. Cleared it, courtesy of him and Birdman, 250. Not only did he show up to the video for free, another 150. He had his crew shoot the video and still refused to send us a bill. He zeroed everything out.
Yeah.
And then came to Compton, Brazil and Wilmington.
Yeah.
Right? So, Game set back, and from what I see, he like, okay, Kendrick and Drake, fuck with both of them.
Yeah.
Help Kendrick come into the game.
Yeah.
Compton native. We both from the same side of it. And Drake been my man, picks up my calls, help me answer my calls. Yeah. Whenever it's time for a Drake concert, whatever, for my kids, he handles them with care, all that. And you know what? Who is this over here chattering? Ross. Kendrick ain't mentioned Ross' name one time as a comrade, and we on the same side. You over there taking jabs and shots, and it's a head-up fight. So you know what?
Yeah, there you have it. And I respect that.
But you wasn't even going to give Chuck his credit.
No, I forgot about it when you mentioned. You're right. No,
you know why you forgot about it? Because Rick Ross never responded. And that's probably the smartest thing he could have done, because we both know Game would have been rapping till 2029.
Right. And I understand, like, for example, Game does have an actual real relationship with both Drake and Kendrick.
Both.
They have songs together on both sides. But if I've never had a song with Kendrick, we don't have a relationship, there's no people in common, and this dude just turned me into a millionaire when I was just locally hustling, I'm a ride with that dude.
I think what you're thinking
That's
is...
what I'm saying.
No, this is what you're thinking. If this is the case. Kendrick ain't fuck with me in all these years.
Yeah.
Probably ain't gonna fuck
Exactly.
Fuck it, I'm gonna shoot my shot.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
it been a good clout
man
move.
against black man. No,
It would have been a good
that.
clout move.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been needed and necessary.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I remember you and Adam were arguing about who was more influential, YG or Draco the Ruler.
Yeah. And I've got held up at the gas station at least 15 times by youngsters to where I had to sit back and think about that. Worldwide, YG hands down.
Of course.
Gets that. I gotta keep it real.
Right. But LA.
I've had youngsters, I swear to God, just the other day, I was in Acton, California, on my way to Antelope Valley at 2 a.m. Youngster jumps out the car. Hey, Wack, I gotta pick a bone with you. I say, what's up, man? He said, first of all, listen, I'm 19 years old. You were wrong about YG and the Ruler. I said, what was I wrong about? He puts on some music. I said, damn, who was that? That sound like Drake. That's me. He influenced me to rap in his style. So did this. And he said, I'm going to keep it real and you might whoop my ass. You know what he told me? He even influenced Blueface. That's why I listened to Blueface in his earlier years. And I sat back and I said, you know what? This is like the 15th youngster. They've been spotting me at the light.
Right.
You were wrong. I fuck with YG, but you were wrong. Draco influence. So I think it's more rappers that's around LA that was influenced by Draco's style of rap. Now, this is what it is with me. I don't really listen to the underground until somebody brings them to me. So what everybody else is hearing, I'm not necessarily hearing. So I stand by YG when it comes to between YG and Draco. YG is more of the face and voice of this. Locally, in the last, it looks like 5 to 8 years or so, right? It looks like Draco's been a hell of an influence on these youngsters. Now remember, Draco, my guy.
Well, he's also younger. Keep that in mind.
He's my
Draco's
guy.
younger than YG.
Yeah,
Rest
he's
in
my guy.
peace, Draco.
That's not, when everybody was against him, I was the blood whose studio he had come to with his driver and go in my office and go to sleep.
Yeah, I did his first interview when he got out of prison.
Yeah, he's my guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And shout out to Pitbull from Harlem, who was covering for him, who really brought that to me to be able to sit down and get him to trust me. But no, I gotta say, the youngsters is putting me in check. They on my line. They like, yo, Draco's more influential than YG right now. We ain't trying to rap like YG. We're not trying to be like YG.
Huh.
Dude was like, who's wearing shorts and goddamn Stacey Adams? We ain't doing that. We wore an awful lot of cough syrup because Draco was rocking that, right?
You know,
no, like, listen.
Yeah, Draco was the new
They
wave.
go in on me. Goddamn El Pollo Loco drive-through. I get to the window, the guy said, I knew that was you when you were taking the order. You're wrong about Draco watching. So listen, yo, to all the youth out there, listen, man. Y'all got it. Draco, more influential when it comes to local Los Angeles. I'm going to stand by my worldly U.S. thing with YG. I get it now, and I guess I got to bow down to the 22ster. Adam, you were right.
Well, Chrisean Rock was recently at Blueface's court hearing, and she got arrested.
You remember what I told you?
Yeah, we had a conversation about this. We had a conversation about this on the phone. She had a warrant out in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, Arizona, Baltimore at that time.
At that time.
And L.A.
And L.A. And she had shown up to multiple court hearings at that point.
And I'm telling her every time I get to the court, she have her phone mounted on live. I'm like, yo, Rock, why are you showing up to court and going live? She thought, you don't want me here so you could paint the narrative to Blueface that I don't support him. Now, what it was Jaden is at every court appearance.
Yeah, that's
you don't know that
baby mother.
because Jaden is being Jade. She shows up. She has usually the baby with her, and she does what she's supposed to do. She's not loud with it. She's not going to social media with it. So I think Rock in her head was like on some, she's here, I have to be here. There's only one thing, Rock. You're going to go to jail. You're on live. And they got this thing where the Jaden trolls versus the Rock trolls. You know, if they know something's going on, they'll call in and they'll make reports, call in and call in and call in. And I told her, I'm like, listen, there's no need for you to be here and take that risk. Or at least get these things figured out, then take the risk. And she took the risk, and right now, I would much rather her had got these things figured out, her baby's wherever the baby is. You sit in LA County Jail waiting extradition. You could have cleared up Oklahoma, did a surrender and bond because LA wasn't serious. They dropped it to a misdemeanor. So that wasn't serious, right? Instead, you went, they gave you 30 days. You had to do 15 days on that and then start your 45 days for extradition. So now you got a 60-day possibly thing before you even get to Oklahoma. Then you got to get to Oklahoma, get that court date, and see if the judge is going to want to let you out or make you do some violation time on your probation. And even if they let you out, are they going to house arrest you and force you to stay in the state of Oklahoma.
Huh.
So, what Blueface will be out this month is either July 26th or next court date he'll be home.
Yeah, man, it was definitely kind of
They were
upsetting.
waiting on her.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess there was footage that came out because she had the baby with her, and then you saw Blueface's parents, neither one of which wanted to take the baby.
First of all,
that
the
not true?
mother's defense, the mother was never allowed to deal with the baby.
Okay.
The father was with the baby all day, every day, as long as Rock was turning on that live, giving him some clout. Soon as Rock left, he was like, I ain't taking the baby. That's why Carlissa was like, yo, you been over there clout chasing, take the baby back to John's house and wait for the call, which is probably what he should have did, right? And he chose not to do it, and it's what it is, and I'm pretty sure, they see what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
Carlissa, in her defense, she's never been allowed to handle or deal with the baby.
Well, yeah, I guess Chrisean Rock's friend now has custody of the baby.
I don't know about custody. I believe, it has.
I mean, she's holding the baby at this point. I mean, it's just, and I guess they were saying that Blueface was caught with drugs in jail.
So this is what it was. They're ready to sell. They found what they thought to be marijuana.
I'd heard meth. Is that true?
No.
Okay.
Had meth, his ass have another charge.
Okay.
So, understand Blueface's situation. He's in there on a partial probation violation. Now, the guys that's in there fighting the case, if they would have found whatever this was in their cell, they'd have went to the whole 2-3 days, been back, that's it. But because Blueface is in there on a partial probation violation, right? The DA's a little ticked off because Blue was supposed to get 4 years. I got an attorney named Alex Kessel that's a bad man, right? So Alex goes in there and gets us 300 and something days. We on a joint suspension. Everybody knows in California, if you take a joint suspension and you violate, you're going. That's what Suge Knight went to jail for. Violation of 9 years joint suspension. You can do anything and you're out of here. So we pop back up. The second case we caught in Vegas involving Rock in the lobby, right? Violated the California joint suspension. So instead of them giving him 4 years, they gave him 300 some odd days for him to do 6 months off of it, right? They're ready to sell, they find the substance. Now, when we get the report, it said it's marijuana. I've never seen the substance. So when I go to court, maybe late April, the attorney says they're about to give him the 4 years. I'm like, nah, they can't do that. I'm like, have you talked to the DA? He said, I haven't had time to get with the DA, different person in. I said, listen, tell them test the product. This just me thinking on my toes. Anything to keep them from sentencing today. Attorney goes in, says we request to have the product tested. I tell my attorney, go talk to the DA, go talk, let's see if maybe instead of the 4, maybe we can get another just 1 year tacked on, right? At the time, I just used the test of the product to give me time to have my attorney go speak with the DA to try to get away from the full 4. 2 weeks into it, 3 weeks into it, it comes back. THCA, less than 0.3%, which is a powdery substance that cannot be classified as marijuana.
Okay.
I said, okay. He says, hey, listen, we're on to something. We need a scientist. We need somebody licensed, right, who could take the stand. I called my guy over there, I don't know, he had the brand King Louis. King Louis was a big brand, probably still is. I called my guy, Sasha over there. Sasha, I don't know if I'm saying it right. I need a marijuana scientist license. Sasha's like, he's Ukrainian, right? He like, I got a lady for you. Hook me up with the lady. 24 hours, we got the lady in court. So that day, we were supposed to be in court at 9 o'clock in the morning. I had Blueface court at 9 o'clock in the morning, Nick Cannon at 2 o'clock, playing spades in the backyard. They called me that morning, they said, yo, court's pushed to 1:30. I'm like, bro, you can't do that. This court's over at 4:30 every day. We need to go in the morning in case it flows over. It's 1:30. I was like, well, I can't make it because I got an obligation with Nick at Amazon. When I get done with Nick at Amazon, I'm like, what's going on? They're like, look, test came back right. Soon as our specialist got up there, the judge says it's 4:30, 4:45. We have to pound this over. My attorney's like, great, we finish it up tomorrow. The female judge says, no, I have to go in for a surgery for personal issues. I can't get back on the stand until July 26. So we said, well, can we have another judge hear it? She didn't want to step down from hearing the case. So that's what pushed Blueface to July 26. If we'd have went in there the next day, he'd have been home July 3rd. So, you know, it wasn't no meth. Meth would have got him a whole nother charge.
Yeah. I'm glad he's okay.
That was.
I'm glad he's getting out.
But I feel like, you know what? The life I've lived, as much as I want him to come home July 3rd, and he may not like this, I think this extra 23 days might be saving him from something. Who's to know he come home July 3rd, July 4th, wild out, something crazy happen. So, you know, nephew, I love you to death, but it just, you know, because the odds of the judge got to go to a surgery and just can't continue the case the next day.
Yeah.
And it pushes you to July 26th. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
The odds of it. So I look at it like that. His family is healthy. His kids is healthy. Jaden doing an excellent job. Rocks, believe it or not, is cleaning up her situation. So by the time he comes home, she comes home, at least that'll be out the way.
Are you familiar with the whole Polo G situation?
Well, what about Polo G? I know Polo G.
Yeah.
But what about Polo G?
Well, he has a very interesting story. And you gonna get some.
Who's it pertaining to?
Well, there's him, first of all. He got arrested on a gun charge in New York.
Okay, he's going to jail.
They found a loaded gun in his Manhattan hotel room. 9 bullets in the magazine, 1 in the chamber. A maid was cleaning his room and found the gun. The cops were called. They found the Glock. It was in the love seat. And they labeled him a flight risk because of prior run-ins with the law. Because last August, he was arrested twice in 24 hours on kidnapping, robbery, and assault charges. Released on $25,000 bail. He went on Twitter. He said he admitted to relapsing on drugs and liquor a week earlier. And then that whole situation is there.
Now, here goes the thing. Whose name was a hotel room in?
I don't know.
It's a lot of litigating.
He'll have to work that out. His brother, Trench Baby, was accused of killing a man in an LA drive-by in last June 2023. The cops say that it was the first of a string of crimes that he allegedly committed over the following months. Because in August of 2023 was a crazy situation. There was a streamer named Annoying TV. Do you know about this whole story?
I remember him.
Yes. According to the story, Trench Baby, who once again is Polo G's little brother, told him to meet him at the studio, that Polo G was gonna, give him an interview or do something on his stream or whatever. When he showed up, Trench Baby pulled out 2 guns with extended magazines, took all his money, and then had him PayPal $50,000 to his account.
That's crazy.
Now, Annoying TV didn't want to go to the police because he's an up-and-coming streamer and he felt, if he cooperated as a rapper, his career would be over. He reached out to Kai Cenat. Kai reached out to Polo to try to work it out. Ultimately, the bank returned the money to him. Trench Baby was arrested in September. But ultimately, prosecutors said there was insufficient evidence to press charges, so he was let out. Then, Polo G's mom, Stacia Mack, there's a video of her shooting at her daughter.
Well, I don't know.
The video, from what I understand, was her own ring cam footage that she sent to someone who then posted it online and so forth. Now,
what did the daughter say?
I don't know. I mean, the daughter did some posts about some arguments she had with the mom and so forth. There's a lot of craziness. So, let me say this. You're getting the exclusive on this. Recently, I was on DJ Academic's show in a studio in New Jersey. Academics, I think, brought up Polo G. And I said, well, you know something? Me and Polo, I'd actually interviewed Polo when he first came out. Did an interview with him. It was one of his first interviews. I thought he was a dope artist, whatever else. We never did a second follow-up interview. And then I remember this one time, NLE Chopper was like, oh, DJ Vlad's the feds. And Polo G responded, yeah, I agree, or something.
Uh-huh.
So we run into each other at a bank in Calabasas. I see him in line. He turns around, he sees me. He was with his little brother.
The Wells Fargo we all go to. BMF.
One of those banks. So we see each other and I'm like, yo, after you're done, can we go talk outside? He was like, sure. So we go outside and we have a respectful conversation. And I'm like, yo, I don't know why you would publicly diss me when I've only showed you love. If you have a problem with me, you could have just reached out to me. You could have DM'd me. You could have reached out, whatever. And I was just a little disappointed that you did that. He goes, well, I don't like some of the questions you ask in interviews or whatever else. And I'm like, okay, I respect that. Let's exchange numbers. You know what I'm saying? If you ever want to discuss it, whatever. I texted him a few times. He never responded to me. Oh, that's cool, whatever. Life goes on. So I mentioned this story on Academics, and I'm like, yo, I feel like Polo, with all this drama, is not really taking his position seriously enough at the level that he's at with all this stuff that's happening to him. So Polo DM'd me. He said, yo, what's your number? And I'm like, here it is, same number as last time. And I'm like, yo, it's my birthday today. I can't talk to you. He texted me. I said, I can't talk right now, but when I'm done later tonight, I'll call you. I called him. He didn't answer, and then he FaceTimed me. So I pick up. We start talking, and he starts getting loud with me over FaceTime. He starts yelling at me. And I'm like, you know how I am. I said, look, if you're not going to talk respectfully to me, I'm going to hang up on you. And he kept getting more and more loud, so I hung up on him. And that started a 2-day back and forth text message, back and forth. He was like, yo, you got to meet up with me. I said, why the hell would I meet up with you? Yo, I don't roll security out here. Yo, you need to meet up. You had a chance to talk to me in person. You need to meet up with me. And I'm like, why the hell? I'm 51 years old. I'm going to meet up with you? Yeah. That's insane. You have a gun charge. Your brother has a murder charge. Your mom shot at your sister. If I showed up, I'd have to bring my gun with me, right?
The Hatfields and McCoys. The Hatfields and McCoy.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why the hell would I meet up with you? That's insane. And it's like, oh, you a goofy and whatever else. And I'm like, I'm a goofy. Look what you're going through right now. And I'm like, let me tell you something. I said, yo, you're in an incredible position right now. I sent him a list of 19 rappers that I've interviewed that have been killed violently. Half of them were around his age.
It's crazy. That many, Vlad?
19 rappers. Do you want me to name them?
Yeah, you fucking me up with that.
Hold on. I'll name them for you.
19 rappers.
Now, keep in mind, I've been doing this for 16 years.
No, yeah, that's still a lot.
Okay. Jimmy Wapo, age 21. Doe B, age 22. Jay the Youngin, 24. BTB Savage, 26. FBG Duck, 26. Fulio, 26. Mo 3, 28. Draco the Ruler, 28. Takeoff, 28. Chinks Drugs, 31. E-Dave 632. Big Glow, Chief Keef's cousin, 33. Slim 400, 33. Nipsey Hussle, 33. Young Greatness, 34. Snooty Wild, 36. Young Dolph, 36. The Jacka, 37. Gonzo, 45. All of them.
Shit. Forgot about Gonzo.
Black men that have died, most of them through shootings, Draco by a stabbing. All of them died violently. And I said, here's some OG advice. You are going down the same path with the way you're crashing out and the way everyone around you crashing out. Oh, you can't give me advice. You're not where I'm from. I said, okay. Then you start saying blood. You know, yeah, blood. Stop texting me. I'm like, blood? I thought you were. Here's a tweet where you're saying GDK. Now it's blood. Like I'm just confused right now. You know, and we just basically at one point we just stopped texting, and I'm like, look, and at one point he was like, yeah, you know, because we're gonna run into each other again. I'm like, if we run into each other, we run into each other. That's life. I wasn't avoiding you last time. You know what I mean? Like I'm not on that time, but it is what it is.
Yo, Vlad, that's a crazy list, man.
Yeah.
You know what? We all know those names.
Yep.
But when you see them consolidated like that.
I'll give you more. Lil Loaded, 20, he killed himself. Then there's the drug overdoses. Mac Miller, 26, Aaron Carter, 34, Gangsta Boo, 43, and Coolio, 59. So that's...
You never interviewed Fulio?
I did it. Fulio's on that list.
He's on that list?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Fulio's on the list, 26. Yeah, man, it was a very disturbing list. I made the list after Fulio got killed because I said, man, I wonder how many of these guys...
Because you didn't know until you started going down the list.
But it was like a lot of these interviews, I talked to the dudes about squashing whatever beef they had, you know, because I talked to Fulio. They don't want to hear it. Just like Polo didn't want to hear it. But a lot of them was like, okay, look, I understand that this happened, but can you work it out? You know, me and FBG Duck, yo, I understand what's going on. Have you considered moving out of Chicago? No, I'm not going to do that. You know, Young and Ace, I know you and Fulio, can y'all just work it out? Like, no one wants to see you guys gone.
He's next. Because he keeps taking shots, bro.
Yeah, no, he did a diss song right after Fulio got killed.
Taking shots, so
but,
you know.
But the whole thing with, like, me and Polo was like, you're sitting here crashing out right now, sending me these little lightweight threats, saying you're going to meet up, you know, you want to meet up with me and whatever else. I'm not your enemy. The story I talked about us meeting in front of the Bank of America is true. It was a respectful conversation. I want you to do well. I don't want to see you in these type of situations. And you're like turning up on me. And I'm saying, like, I've seen this over and over again. You know, you don't come from where I come from, so you can't give me advice. Okay, keep thinking that.
But see, what they don't realize, Vlad, is like, you've been in the game 16, 17 years. You've seen 100 different scenarios that ended in jail, death, somebody in the wheelchair, somebody else being killed and maybe they got out of there, right? So they don't understand that you're like, hey, listen, you're mimicking one of these 19 people.
Yes.
That on my list that I've interviewed.
Yeah.
That have been doing exactly what you're doing, and it ended up in a tragic death.
Right.
They're not seeing that, and you reading that list. Is this the first time you've read that list?
First time ever.
You read it. It still got me shook up.
As it should.
Because I know those people, but I never lined them up to say all these people died because of this rap beef or this going on. And it was a small percentage of those people who were up. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, Nipsey was on the cusp. I think if he was alive when that album dropped, he would have gone to a different level.
What album dropped?
His last album.
It's like he was alive.
Victory Lap.
He was alive.
Was he alive when Victory Lap?
Yeah, he didn't die till a year later.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll cut that part out. Yeah, no.
Why you gotta cut that part out? Because you were wrong?
Because I was wrong. Okay, fine, we'll leave it in. All right, you're right. No, you're right. You got me. No, you're right. Okay, he was alive when that happened.
A year later.
I guess it was like right after he passed, I really just listened to that album over and over again as if it was new.
Well, that was...
Because it was a great album.
That was the thing with Nipsey. And this is why I got pissed off at a lot of... Because all people heard me when I said he wasn't a legend when it came to rap music at the time of his death. They didn't want to hear when I said, and you suck-ass DJs who's doing this Nipsey hour. Because Nipsey had at least 4 songs I feel personally was hits. Should have went. Last time that I checked, shit like that should have went. Yeah. Right? But guess what? For some reason, I don't know what was going on. They didn't give him his, they didn't give him his credit. They didn't give him his props on it. But soon as something happens to him, right, just like you said, right, you know, people started listening to his music.
Yeah.
I remember downloading his whole album. We was in Oslo, Norway, on the game tour, and I downloaded the whole album just to support and hadn't listened to it, right? But you know, nevertheless, you know, if he would have still been here, it's been what, 5 years now?
Yeah.
You know, we probably would have got at least 2 projects out of him. I believe.
Yeah.
And I believe he'd have been on the verge of some television if he wouldn't have already done it. We know his merch thing would have kept growing.
Yeah. Yeah, man, look, it was going through this list is a sad list, man.
Have you guys got it? Have you talked to him? Have y'all?
Two.
The last interview we was talking about, you guys good or is it still friction?
What, with who? Polo?
Yeah.
No.
He still hasn't talked to you?
No. This text message thing happened a couple of days ago.
Oh, come on, Polo. Come on, man. This Vlad, man. He's trying to work it out. Knock it off. Come on.
I even told him, listen, if you want to see me face to face, come do an interview. You can say whatever you want on camera. I won't cut out any of it. He's like, oh, ha ha, you just trying to get an interview. Like, all right. For me, it's all business. Like, we're not friends. We don't have a relationship. But I'm seeing this path you're going through with all these charges, with your brother's charges, with your mom's shooting. Like, how you gonna rob someone and have them PayPal you the money? Like, who does this? It's crazy to me.
He beat that though, right?
The guy never pressed charges because he didn't want to. This annoying
right
TV
now,
guy.
All Polo has is a gun charge in New York.
I believe so, but I don't know if the other charges that he had from before are still pending or not. But regardless, this is a multi-millionaire, multi-platinum artist that should have real management. And I even told him, I said, if you had real management right now, they wouldn't be letting you text me like this right now and saying all this crazy stuff over text. Me and you could have just had a regular conversation over FaceTime, but you started yelling at me. And then when I hung up, you're calling me a little girl and a bitch for hanging up. No, I'm just not going to let someone yell at me. No man should.
No, that's real. No, that's just you.
You know what I'm saying?
Anybody know your character and personality. I think with Vlad, like you so deep up into the urban side of this entertainment world, right? People expect you to be that, and you're not. And I tell people, a lot of the top people that are in position in this entertainment business on the urban side, they don't look like us, but they've been around us so damn long. It's one lady named Gabby Peluso. I'm talking about OG from Def Jam, Italian. But you cannot sit here and talk to her as if she doesn't know, because she's been managing and dealing with our people in business and music, helping them. She was one of the secrets to Sada Baby's, kickstart, right?
Good, yeah.
So it was like a lot of people be like, oh man, you act like you know, but you don't know. But yet you do know, because you dig off into the intricate details of our lives. You question us, you study us, you learn to understand. A lot of us talk to you one-on-one conversations.
Yeah.
They see this. You have a lot of one-on-one conversations, right, with people to where you understand what they're going through, what's happening. You give them advice. They don't take it, then it happens, and you sit back, you say, damn, I wish they would have listened to me.
Yeah.
So this is what you're attempting to do,
right,
with Polo G.
Exactly.
And hopefully he grabs it and receives it differently from thinking that you on some BS. Because really, you're not. Polo, holla at him, man.
I'm really not. And honestly, even regardless of what he said to me over text, it's like, whatever. Like, my whole thing is, I'm not dissing you. I want you to do well, but I'm seeing a bad direction that you're going through, and I don't think you're taking it seriously. And you're 25, literally half my age. You're not seeing it. And I know that the FBG Ducks and the Mo3s and the Fulios, when I would tell them on camera, yo, you should switch things up. You should move away. You should try to squash this. They're looking at me, oh, you don't know. You don't come from where I come from. You're not a gangster. You're not in the street. You just don't understand. And I'm sure it was the same type of attitude that ultimately led to their demise if they were to have taken that advice seriously, because I have nothing to gain or lose by them taking this advice, right?
That's real.
In fact, I would prefer, because I have footage on them, I would prefer that they stay alive as long as possible to continue to put out content and continue to grow their fan base so that footage becomes more valuable. When they die, and, when I post, their life story, it's not because, I'm going to make money. It's like, well, here's an homage to somebody who I respected enough to sit down and, have a couple hours of my life devoted to just their story. And it's important for people to learn their story. And as you go through, you will see Vlad saying you should change your path to avoid the situation that ultimately led to your demise. And I hope Polo G listens to this. I know he's going to listen to this interview and know that I don't have any bad intentions for him.
You mean well. You're just trying to have a conversation.
I do mean well.
Man-to-man conversation.
I do mean well. But, when I see the brother getting arrested, him getting arrested, the mom shooting the gun, like...
It's like they're crashing out.
They're crashing out.
And at the end of the day, he's the focal point of that.
He's the breadwinner, by far. And so few artists get to a Polo G level. And people don't look at Polo as like, this is the super gangster rapper. He's the Pam and Gina, the Martin and Gina song guy. You know what I mean? He's like the fun, we like his music. This is not the guy who's like, I don't look at him the same way I look at Game, for example. Like, Game is Game.
It's Game.
Right? He's going to do what he does.
Know that's what that is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what that is. I don't think people look at Polo like the way they look at Game. But I don't know whether he has a problem with that, whether he's trying to prove otherwise. I don't know why you would tweet GDK. Gangster Disciple Killer. Like, why make those type of enemies in life?
Yeah,
why?
Right.
Why do that?
Especially in 2024.
I think he did it in like 2020, actually. There's a tweet from like a few years ago.
A lot of us are trying to convert those people that's supposed to be our so-called enemies to business partners and, and being able to do some business and be able to coexist.
Yeah.
This shirt, on the fingers.
There we go.
It's on the fingers. This shirt was like my homeboy Lil Jon, he coined it. Every time you tell him, yo, man, we're going to get this done, whatever, instead of him saying, on my mama, on the dead homies, on the hood, he would hit you with on the fingers, right? And he's from Fruittown, Paul Root, so when he says on the fingers, he's pretty much telling you a bunch of things in one.
This is not Lil Jon the rapper.
No, this is Lil Jon from Compton, or as we say, Bompton, Fruittown, Paul Root, very reputable guy. He works on a lot of movie sets. He's a husband, he's a father, he's a homie, he's a lot to us. But with saying that, I look up, right? And Lil Jon knows what he knows. Next thing I know, he pops up with this other guy, right? I'm like, well, where he from? He's from Insane. He's from Long Beach. He a Crip. But yet, Lil Jon's coming with the ideas, and he's taking the ideas and designing them and putting them on merch, right? So now he like, well, Wack, listen, we need this, we need this, we need distro, we need that. So he comes up to No Jumper. So the artists that come up there, he gives them the merch, he show them some love, right? He even brought you one, right? So now we've taken a reputable Paru, a reputable Crip, right, who brought a business idea and a talent together, and now they're business partners. This is Polo G, what we're trying to do. We're not trying to do killer this or kill him that. We all have a gift, a skill, a talent. We all have something. Vlad, they say, Vlad, you interview all the rappers, all the black people in the industry. You know what? Vlad had an idea to do something. He grew it, he built it, and let's not front. Vlad's platform helps us continue to grow, stay relevant.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say, oh, well, Vlad ain't black, it don't matter, right? He came up with something, he stayed at it to a point to where we know who he is, we recognize him, and now his platform makes us money, makes him money, entertains the people. So at this point in my life, I don't care a lot about if you a Crip, if you blood, if you black, if you white, if you fucking gay, if you a dwarf, that doesn't matter, right? Let's come together.
Yeah.
And if something we can do, let's do it. Black, we had our differences.
Yes, for 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
10 damn years. And at the end of the day, we jumped on the phone, and I'm gonna say it. I think both of us, after we got off the phone, looked at the phone and said, damn, that was easy.
Yeah, completely.
Right?
And we lost 10 years worth of opportunities.
There you go. That's what I'm talking
We
about.
probably, I'm going to say, you and I probably lost $1 million each.
That's a fact.
From not working together in whatever capacity we could have worked together. $1 million, I would say easy.
Easy. Before the fall come to pride, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's real. So, end of the day, let's all work to getting past that. We all gonna have our differences and our issues with people, but you can handle them in a different way. The youngsters in the rap game, listen to the people that been here and seen things. They're not trying to tell you what to do. They just trying to direct you away from the things you're doing because we've seen it before. We know where it's gonna be.
Right.
So that's all that is.
Diddy.
Yeah.
Since our last interview,
Kind of quiet.
Since our last interview, the tape came out.
Yeah, wait. It wasn't out yet?
No, it wasn't out.
Yeah, that's bad work.
Yeah. Diddy did an apology. And you actually criticized the apology.
Yeah. Because I felt like he didn't owe us that. Because at the time that tape happened, if he's saying he went to counseling, they went to counseling, I think he apologized to her. They went to counseling, she accepted that, and they moved on to some extent. I don't think you owed that to us today. You doing that for us today is like some stage shit that really didn't mean anything.
Damage control.
Yeah, it's damage control.
Right.
Like, why are you apologizing to us today for some shit that happened back then that you said allegedly, I don't know if it's true, you went to counseling and you remained to be together. So why apologize today? If the tape would have never came out, you wouldn't apologize. You apologize because of the action you actually did to that person.
Yeah.
So why apologize to us today? The problem is now, Vlad, what just happened with his legal.
Well, his law firm dropped him.
You see why.
Well, they're saying it's because of Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga told the law firm, either you gonna represent him
or me.
Or me.
Yeah.
Now, you gotta look at this. These are things that Diddy not used to. He's usually the one in the position of power controlling these situations. So for the law firm to say, Diddy, we're out, I think he's losing his steam, man.
Yeah, I mean, he just put his house up for sale.
Which one?
The LA house.
Okay.
He's putting it up for $70 million.
Yeah, he's gonna stay in Miami.
Yeah, he's just gonna stay in Miami, right? Because he bought the house for $40 million like 10 years ago, selling it for 70. He took down his whole Instagram, scrubbed the whole Instagram clean. And like for example, and now there's a grand jury that's out on him. And when I interviewed with academics, I said I'm 99% sure he's going to be indicted because 99% of grand juries end in indictments.
I told you he was going. He has some problems coming.
Do you expect him to go to prison?
If they charge him federally, the only way he won't go, actually, you know what? If they charge him federally, I believe the only way he will not go to prison for the time that they want to give him is if he start giving them something.
Cooperating.
He start cooperating. And at this point, I could be wrong. If they tell Diddy, you want this 30 to do 27 or this 10 to do 7, but we need this, and this, which we know you know about, I think Diddy's gonna cooperate.
Of course, why wouldn't he?
He's gonna cooperate.
Why wouldn't he? I mean, if I was Diddy right now, I would take all my money and go to Russia.
It would definitely protect him.
Yeah, because he still has his passport. He hasn't been charged. There will not be any extradition from Russia. There's no way America will invade Russia to get Diddy back. You know what I mean?
That's real.
That's real. Like, you hear, like, they essentially invaded Pakistan to get bin Laden. But that's bin Laden. Thousands of people died. Biggest terrorist attack in U.S. history. They're not going to get Diddy.
Why does he just go down there with Oh, Mr. Simmons.
I mean, Bally, he could do that. But, Edward Snowden is in Russia.
You're right. You're right. You know what? You might be right.
That's what I would do.
If they let him leave.
Well, how could they stop him? He has a passport.
They haven't restricted it?
No.
Yeah, he might want to get out of here.
That's what I would do. If I knew I had years and I'm 50-something years old and I have hundreds of millions of dollars, because remember, he took out the mortgages on his homes. It was like $100 million second mortgage, which is unheard of. He's got the cash. Now whatever's left in the U.S., they'd probably seize. Well, fuck it. I'd rather be a millionaire free somewhere in a first world country than in jail.
That's real.
That's what I would do. That's what I would do. And
He
listen.
can go sign some Russians.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He can really be all in the videos. You know what I'm saying?
Thought I told you that we won't stop.
Yeah, that's real.
That's what I would do.
Hey, listen, that's real. You know what's crazy? People would definitely come over there to visit him.
Yeah, absolutely. You see him taking selfies with Diddy.
That's real.
Eating borscht.
Hey, at 50-something Diddy, 50 plus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting on 500, 600, 700 million. Do I do the 15, 20? Or do I get out of here? Yeah, I think I might be out of here.
Listen, Russell to me is the smartest guy that I know.
Got out of here. He got out. He sold everything overnight. We woke up in the morning.
Everything.
He was meditating in Bali. I said, yo, yeah.
Listen, Russell's my friend. And I'd been to his home. We did an interview at his home in West Hollywood. He had a Basquiat Warhol in his house. So that's like $100 million or so by itself. He sold his West Hollywood house. He sold that painting. He sold his condo in Tribeca. And that was because he knew a documentary was on its way. Because when HBO Max first launched, there was a documentary about him, which ultimately went nowhere. But, this is a man that's like 60 years old. He said, I'm not going to risk it.
I'm out.
I seen what happened to Weinstein. I'm seeing what's about to happen to R. Kelly. Documentaries will put you in the
what
fucking...
What was his blog site? What was it? He had an office downtown.
All Def Digital?
Yeah. Everything was gone.
Yeah, man, listen. And he went to Bali, built his own hotel, and waited to see what would happen. Ultimately, he wasn't charged.
Wait. Russ built his own
own hotel. Yes, in Bali.
Yeah.
His own hotel with his own money.
Hey, Russ know me. Tell Russ I need to holler at him.
Yeah, I'll hit him up.
I need to holler at him.
I'll hit him up. That's my man.
I need to work on that dual citizenship, man.
Yeah, man. He's the one that hooked me up with Leo Cohen. When Leo came to VladTV, that was a hookup through Russell. He's a good dude. But he said, look, there's a documentary coming. I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to chill and see what happens. Now, he has some civil lawsuits, but whatever. Those won't put you in prison. But look, R. Kelly, you can't say that R. Kelly's not sitting in a jail cell because of that documentary.
No, definitely.
100%.
100%. When that doc hit, it was over with.
It was over.
That shit was not like us.
Yeah.
It was over.
Yeah, that's what it was like.
Stick a fork in him.
Yeah, because he was living. He had already beaten his original case. Yeah. The tape was out. He made his biggest songs after beating that case, or even waiting for the case. He was living his life. Suddenly, the documentary comes out. They need a part 2, and then and listen, law enforcement is reactionary. We know that. When you're in the news, law enforcement will take time out of their day to see what that's about. If you're an unknown person no one's ever heard of, you have a lot more chance of not getting prosecuted.
Think you're right, Puff, dude. He might need to get out of here.
It's
over with. You did your thing.
You had a hell of a run.
That's it.
And you still have hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's real.
Putin will take that money, kick Putin a little something off that. He'll let you stay there as long as you want.
And be good.
Steven Seagal, I think, is over there. I think Steven Seagal caught some rape case or something. He went to Russia.
Did he?
Yeah. Telling you, man. That's the spot.
Russia and
Bali.
Bali.
Yeah. Those are
Bali
spots.
got a bunch of spiders, man. I'm not fucking Russia. You know what I'm saying? We can go out there and start the RPG. Russian Power Root gang, click it off like that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure they got Crips and Bloods in Russia.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure of it.
On the fingers.
On the fingers. Well, the Young Thug YSL case is now on hold.
Bro, this little Woody dude, is he free?
I think he is, yeah.
Yo, you need to talk to, yo, listen.
We've DM'd each other.
Yo,
He just wants a huge bag.
That dude, look, you know what?
It might be worth it.
Vlad, I probably wouldn't do what he want, but I might meet him in the middle if I was you.
Yeah, okay.
Dude is funny as fuck. Did you see when they asked him, does he see the person in the room that they were questioning? He looked around. I think that might be him. I don't know. He did the fake faint. I need something to... Yo, listen. He's a rat. But goddamn it, he's an entertaining rat. He got Master Splinter beat, and what he's doing is throwing the DA off their mojo.
Well, yeah, I guess there was a secret meeting that happened.
That's gonna be the mistrial.
Between Woody and the judge and the prosecutors. Brian Steele, who is Young Thug's lawyer, found out about it and then refused to say how he found out about it. So then the judge put him in contempt. He got arrested in the courtroom.
I've seen it.
Supposed to do 20 days.
He kicked that out.
Yeah, that ended up getting dropped. And now, essentially, they filed paperwork to recuse the judge. So now the judge his situation is being reviewed by another
Other
judge.
judges.
So now this case, which is the longest case in Georgia history already at 18 months, expected to go into 2025, is now on hold.
Easy.
It's a train wreck.
It's gonna be a mistrial anyway. But that's about to happen with this, because Woody is the one they had in the judge's chambers. Right? That female attorney that was in there with Woody that's no longer there is the one that leaked that happened. See, the judge knows either it's a bug in my damn office or somebody told. Now, somebody telling, nothing's gonna happen with them because this was something that shouldn't have been happening. So you can't involve other legal in an illegal situation. But if that happened, everything that judge has touched is gonna be scrutinized now, right? They'll go mistrial before they let that thing go all the way. Convict Thug and give him that door of appeal based on that. But when they mistrial, it's a good and bad thing because it's good because, okay, Thug, they didn't find you guilty, but it's bad because now we're going to be dealing with this till 2026, because he has to start all over again.
Yeah, they're not just going to let him go. They're going to just they're going to retry him.
They're going to retry him. And you have to remember, at the time of his arrest or the raid,
there was the switch.
They found guns and silencers.
And drugs.
That they never added to the state case.
They're going to add that later.
No, them feds is sitting up there.
The feds are going to sit on it,
Right? So, I think we probably got between now and 2028, 2029 dealing with Thug and his court proceedings. Because even if they charge him in the state, and let's say he get a little time, right? They can let him go to the state and then pull him back to the feds.
Yeah.
Right? So, but right now, I can tell you this, how it started and how it's looking now is definitely in Thug's favor.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Woody's the most anti-productive rat I've ever seen in the courtroom. Because usually when you snitch, it works against the defendant. But all his telling, he's converting into antics that's working against the DA side.
See, what I didn't really understand was when you're given immunity, you can't plead the fifth, right? Because that's what they're basically doing to him.
Yeah,
he was given immunity, so he can't say, I don't want to talk about it. He's forced to talk about it. That's why he got put back in jail for a while.
Exactly.
It's like, when you're forced to take the stand, you're given immunity, you have to answer the questions. And the whole thing, because they actually released a transcript from that secret meeting, essentially, he asked if he could lie, and they said no. And what they're saying is that he admitted to the murder, but not really. Basically, what he said was, because I did some of the crimes that I'm accused of. And they're trying to say, he just admitted to the murder. But that's not exactly what he said. So it's a very weird situation right now with Woody.
And I think the problem is they threatened him. They said if he doesn't do something or whatever, we can keep you for as long as this case, right?
Yeah.
So it's best you cooperate and do what we need you to do. They're going to get a mistrial.
Possibly.
That judge was very worried. And Thug's attorney, now, listen, say what you want. Dude was gangster with that situation.
Oh yeah, he said that he wants to do his jail time with Thug in his cell
Straight
to
up.
go over the case.
That's it.
Oh yeah, he has a long list of people.
Yeah, he said, I'll do the time as long as you put me in there with my client. Everybody gonna hire him.
Oh yeah, no, he's got $1 million offers, I'm sure, already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, last time you were here, you talked about how you know of a tape that will let Tory Lanez walk free.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I interviewed Megan Cuniff, a.k.a. Megan the Reporter. She was there during the entire Tory Lanez trial, and she's probably had the best coverage I've seen of the case. Literally, Tory's last words as he was being taken off to jail was he called her a googly-eyed bitch, which she made merch out of.
Oh, shit.
And I mentioned this conversation that you and I had about how you know of a tape that Tory's lawyers have, but unfortunately, an underage Asian kid took it and the family doesn't want to get involved and so forth. When I brought this up, this is what she said. She has gone through the appeal with a fine-tooth comb over everything that Tory is trying to do to get himself out of prison, and there is no mention whatsoever of this tape.
Sounds made up. I mean, it seems like at this point, I mean, he was convicted 18 months ago or so? He's been in custody 18 months. And his appeal is totally brief. They're trying to get some kind of information on, discrimination or something to add to it, but it's completely briefed. So if there was actually a video that completely cleared him, I think they would maybe mention that in the papers. His lawyers,
there's no mention of this in the paperwork whatsoever.
No, I think people are just kind of making things up for
Well, I mean, he did say he's never actually seen it himself. So
yeah, so he did hear about it, but
okay.
Somebody made it up to him.
Possibly, right. Yeah, you're right, because it would be mentioned in the paperwork.
I would think they would have a vested interest to make sure that video is out, or at least people know about it. And that'd be a pretty critical piece of evidence, like a video showing that he didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the tape's there. The tape was mentioned the first time, and they wouldn't allow it in there because the parents are saying she's the child's a minor. And this is on us. That's what they're waiting on. They're waiting for those parents to say green light. Now you got to remember, it's a sticky situation because they can't bribe them. It just has to be something that they say, hey, this is needed to help this man's freedom. They're trying to get a community to understand some shit that they don't want to understand. They don't know who the hell a Tory Lanez is. They're not tripping about that. The kid might know, but the parents might know. Only thing they know is we do not want our daughter in LA or our child, right? Might be saying too much, to be the focal point of that. The Asian community, believe it or not, they still feel the effects of the goddamn Rodney King riots. Right? This is real tough. There's still a bad taste in their mouth when it comes to our people. I get it, right? So, no, she probably is not going to see it in there because they don't want to put it in there until they know they can use it. The DA knows about the tape.
Okay.
They all know about the tape.
All right. I mean, she says that if there was a tape, there would be a mention of it in his final hurrah of trying to get out. She also said that reading through this appeal, she doesn't see anything that is probably going to grant him this appeal.
He should have filed two of them. Well, one of them should be that gun enhancement. The gun enhancement, I believe, is a next 4 to 6 years, something he got, because they can't really prove Tory had the gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
They ran DNA, they ran gunpowder, GSR. That gun enhancement, they should attack that. The other one should be based upon that tape. The tape keeps Tory here in the States. The gun enhancement frees him right now. They take that 4 or 6 year enhancement off, Tory comes home.
You know what I think happened with all the people I've spoken to about this and going through it and everything else like that? Here's what I think really happened that night. Tory was messing with Kelsey, and then it was found out that he was actually sleeping with Megan as well, right? So a fight ensues in the car. Tory's 5'3". Megan is physically bigger than him. So a fight ensues. He's the smallest person. Somehow a gun gets pulled, and it seems like Kelsey might have been the one that initially had the gun and may have actually shot it or whatever. I think that Tory got the gun away from her, and out of anger, and Megan says this, he said, "Dance, bitch." He shot it at the ground out of anger and said, "Dance, bitch," not trying to shoot Megan. And the bullets accidentally shot her in the foot. And that, I think, is the real story. Had he said, "That's what happened, I am so sorry, I was not trying to shoot you." When you say "dance, bitch," it doesn't mean you're trying to kill a person. It means you're just shooting at the ground. "I shot the gun at the ground. I am so sorry you got hit. Let me apologize publicly. Let me not make songs about you. Let me not make you look bad. Let me not ridicule you in public and get you pissed off." And he probably could have gotten a year or two for firing off a gun on accident and so forth. And he probably would have walked away from it.
I think if Tory wouldn't have went crazy when the pandemic kicked and he was doing his shit on IG Live,
Yeah.
it would have went away. He antagonized Megan into doing whatever it is she did.
Yeah, 100%.
Lying, exaggerating, telling the truth. Whatever it is Megan did, Tory antagonized her into doing that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have never went to court. You eliminate him on that live doing the shit he was doing,
Yeah, 100%.
it would have went away.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe Megan really remembers exactly what happened.
Everyone was drunk.
She was loaded.
Everyone was loaded. Everyone was drunk. Everyone was angry. The driver didn't testify during the case. He showed up at the last day, and Tory's own lawyers agreed, because basically when the driver showed up, and the driver said he saw a scuffle and he saw the gun go off. He heard the gun go off, but he's not sure who shot it. So the driver's not trying to perjure himself to say who actually did it. But the lawyers, Tory's lawyers could have put him on the stand, but they would have had to delay the trial for a week. So because this is a new witness that the prosecution needed to review. But they said, no, we'll just go on with the trial. It's just a bunch of bad decisions that ended up with 10 years in prison.
And once again, it might be saving Tory from something. Maybe Tory needed this to keep him from losing his life or catching life.
Yeah, no, he was reckless
There's a lot
out
going
there.
on, man. Remember, it was at August Alsina. He put hands on somebody else somewhere.
Put hands on August Alsina. He allegedly pulled out a gun on that rapper Dax. There's a video of him with an altercation with Travis Scott. When I had Adam 22 on my show, there was a situation where he was interviewing Tory, and Tory was there with his bodyguard. I guess some gang members showed up in the parking lot. They wanted to confront him. Adam said this on camera. So Tory's bodyguard didn't have a gun on him. So he goes to Adam's bodyguard and says, "Hey, listen, can I use your gun? I'm going to go out there and try to defuse the situation." Tory jumped in the conversation. "No, I want to hold the gun." And a whole argument ensued because Tory was refusing to not be the one holding the gun when he had an actual security person with him. He had some sort of infatuation with guns and whatever else that didn't need to be there.
No, he didn't have an infatuation with guns. His ass knew he was in the shit where he was gonna need a gun. But that's the thing, the Tory I know is calm and humble and cool. Like every time me and Tory was around each other, he was laid back. But when I see these things in the blogs and the headlines, I'm like, damn, what's going on with bro? Like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I introduced him to Ye. His first time ever meeting Ye was with me in Miami.
Okay.
Right? And he was humble and he was cool and you know what I mean? And then, him and my boy Speedy from Hard Time Hustler, who's confined, he on his way home in the next couple months. They real cool. But maybe it's the liquor or whatever else they put in with the liquor.
Yeah, he just, his wife just filed for divorce after less than a year of marriage.
So he married her while he was locked up?
I think he married her while he was facing the charges, but not actually locked up, because that would be less.
I wonder, will she find out something?
I don't know. Why divorce someone who's locked up? I mean, if y'all need space, I mean, you have it. You know what I'm saying? He's locked up.
Don't give him his family visits.
Yeah.
And,
they have a child, they have a son together. I don't know. Maybe she found out something. Maybe some arguments ensued over the phone. I don't know.
Tory, first time in jail, he writing 3-4 females letters and sending them out the same day.
Well,
you got to send them out week by week. You send 3 letters out to 3 different women. It's a female up there, night staff, reading the mail. She gonna intentionally switch the letters and send them out. So all y'all new dudes doing time, or if you end up doing time, write 1 chick a week. Because if you send 2-3 letters out, they're gonna switch the letters and put them in different envelopes, and pop goes the weasel.
That's how R. Kelly got hemmed up.
Well,
right, because he was, and I remember in our interview he said this.
Emailing.
He had that main girl that was riding for him, but he was talking to other females on jail phones, and that footage was leaked out. I think Tasha K was the one that got a hold of it.
But they really took his emails from the institution, delivered them to the father of his main girl. She in turn delivered them to Tasha K. Tasha K leaked them out.
Yeah.
And then the girl went from being a witness on his behalf to the DA.
Exactly.
And they crushed him.
They crushed him. Yeah. Yeah, man. It was crazy. Now, I remember last time we talked about Tupac. You talked about a piece of audio, a jail phone call where Suge essentially confirmed that Pac was sexually assaulted in prison. I talked to someone who actually sent me a copy of that audio.
Yeah, Wack, listen, I'm Wack100 for a reason. Suge is on there fronting like, yo, this, anything, he'd go against it, but end of the day, you being fake to the people because you actually the one that authenticated it to me. The authentication comes from you.
Yeah, I can't play the tape because the person who gave it to me said I can't play it, but essentially, it was a conversation about how John Singleton was going to include that in the movie, as well as Afeni had a lesbian relationship.
Yeah, we knew that.
Yeah.
We care less about you with his mother.
And essentially, Suge was like, well, they should put it out there because it's real. Something to that extent.
That's a fact.
It was like that, right? You and I heard the same tape.
Yeah, well, I told you, we got the tape. I just been waiting for Suge to get out of line. I give him warnings. Like, bro, chill out, do your thing, leave me alone. I'm not the one. Because you're not going to win with me. I know too much. I'm tied into too much. And, I'm one of the homies that where, when you got pit bulls that was biting, you didn't bite. Pit bulls bit, right? So, we don't mind biting your ass either. So chill out. There's no limit to where I go with you. You leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. I don't want to, but I will if you keep playing with me. So, he's been behaving himself.
Yeah, I mean, listen, just because Suge said it doesn't mean it actually happened.
Well, you got to go back to John Singleton.
Yeah.
John Singleton's a guy like you, Vlad. He does his research.
Yeah.
And when you're dealing with prison, when somebody like John Singleton doubles back, says, hey, I'm contracted to do this, that, a story on this man's life, and I'm here, I want to know about this, if there's any medical records, so on and so forth, right? When anything happens to you in prison, you stab, you had a fight, anything, right? Somebody took advantage of you, raped you, whatever. Tests happen. Things happen, and there's a report. It's going to be a picture of your body. It's going to give a descriptive of what they're doing for you, why they're doing it for you, what possibly happened. All this is going to be there. Guy like John is not going to write this into a script unless he has actual factual. Now, it wasn't in there not because it wasn't real. It's because LT Hutton, he wasn't prepared to deal with the fan base of him putting that in there because people really didn't know about it like that. So he was gonna do the story based upon what people knew about. You know, Pac got a cult fan base.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he like, and John like, if you want me to do it, I'm gonna do it A to Z. The good, the bad, the ugly. I'm gonna do everything.
Yeah.
Right? And John wouldn't come off of it. Then from that came Benny Boom.
Yeah, which didn't do a very good job with the movie. Honestly. Benny Boom.
What you mean?
I don't think Benny Boom did a great job with the All Eyes on Me movie.
Well, first of all,
I thought it was okay.
Hold on. Benny Boom worked with LT.
I know.
So let me ask you a
question. And I interviewed LT.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
If LT got rid of John because he couldn't control John or the things John wanted to do, now this is John Singleton.
Yeah.
Here comes Benny Boom. How much push and say-so and control you think Benny has? Ultimately, it came down to what LT wanted to do.
Yeah, I agree.
So you can't say Benny didn't do a good job. Benny did what he was allowed to do.
Well, I just don't think that Benny has the filmmaking skills of a John Singleton. Just point blank, period.
Listen, I do believe that today, Benny himself would say that John Singleton was definitely a mentor and a teacher. But I'm not gonna say that Benny doesn't have the skill set. I feel like Benny hasn't been afforded the opportunity, right, to do one of those situations. He's been working on NCIS for a long time. They still ain't got rid of him, right? He's over there, right? And I think if this would have been vice versa, Benny's film and he had to say so in creative control, and LT was working alongside of him, I believe the film would have, it would have happened a little different. But I also would say this, and both of them defense, LT and Benny. If the series thing would have been around like back then, like it was now, Pac's story should have probably been told in series form because a lot of it had to be rushed, cut out, get to the point of it.
Yeah, hour and a half, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Imagine all that we seen on the BMF thing, season 4 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Compiled into 90 minutes.
Not the same thing, yeah. No, I feel you.
So, that's Keefe D. You want to do a movie? Maybe later, out the gate, series.
Yeah.
It's 4 decades of information.
Well, last time you were here, we talked about the murder of Biggie. You said Poochie was the most likely person who did it.
Yeah, that's who they put in on. He dead now, but
he's passed away.
That's who they put in on.
So I did an interview with Vanilla Ice recently. And I remember in our first interview, he said he knows what happened to Biggie. So I said, well, I just recently did an interview with Wack100, and he said Poochie, which Mob James had mentioned, Greg Kading had mentioned. Vanilla Ice said, yep, that's what I heard too. When you hear that name Poochie, does it sound familiar at all?
Yep.
Or? Yeah?
Yep. It's my answer.
Well, at the end of the day, it's like, and I tell people this because California didn't hate Biggie, right? But California, like New York, is a place of business when it comes to whatever, especially the streets. People say, well, why would it happen out here? Because, it throws people off. Pop Smoke got killed. He in the house with a female in the bed. He in the shower. 5 of his New York homies throughout the house. 4 masked gunmen come in, walk by everybody, kill Pop Smoke in the shower, in the bathroom or whatever, and leave. And the 911 call comes from New York. Nobody scratched, right? You know what they gonna do? They gonna look at California body. They're not gonna look at New York as if New York is not gonna look at New York for Biggie. Well, it happened in California. That might have been business, but without the personal is what initiated the business. Without the personal conducting the business, right, there's no Poochie or anybody else. Nobody woke up that that morning said, yo, it's on with Biggie. But if you got somebody in New York saying, yo, we got an issue, you got somebody that can do this or do this or do this or do that, right? And it happens over here, that was just business. It wasn't personal. The real problem starts with the personal. There's always somebody out here that's willing to do it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when I asked Mob James, he said, yeah, Poochie's the guy who was known to do this type of thing. You know, I remember I brought the story up to Tony A in our last interview. He said, bags are real. I had 50,000 on my head at one point. People are willing to take that bag.
It definitely
doesn't matter who it is. It's a bag. And now everyone's dead, so it's all water on the bridge in a way. And yeah, it's just a sad situation.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Keefe D walk out of here, are you gonna interview him?
Keefe D actually owes me some money because I actually gave him a deposit for our last interview. So technically he owes me an interview, but I'm not gonna try to cash in on that.
No, you will not interview Keefe D.
Yeah.
All behind the scenes will be on Tronics Network. Behind the scenes, Keefe D on house arrest, Keefe D going through what he going through. But you know what, Vlad, you my guy. We might could do an in-house if that's what needed.
Yeah, we might, if you want to join in on a project that you're working on.
Yeah. But we might have to cross collaborate with Tronics. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I'm down to do it.
There we go. Ray J,
I'm
you heard me live
I mean,
and
in
direct.
fact, I remember when he first got arrested, a big production company out of the UK that had a bunch of films with Netflix reached out to me about potentially doing something, but I guess they weren't able to get a green lit, so that never happened. At the end of the day, man, I never intended for Keefe to get arrested.
What you
you know what I'm saying? My whole thing was,
listen.
Yeah.
You interviewed off a book that was already out.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure the detectives already come through
Exactly.
the book. But nevertheless, he back in there Tuesday. I think that's July 9th.
I hope he
What's
gets
today?
out.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
I hope
Sunday,
that
Monday.
Keefe gets
July
out. He's an
9th.
old man.
He's back in there July 9th.
He's got health problems. I hope he's able to sit at home leading up to his trial. That's what I hope.
He's back in there July 9th.
Yeah.
Wack100 will be live and direct, courtesy of Zoom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not.
Put my own
the
fingers merch on.
There you go.
I'm gonna wear my
you know,
own
when you
merch
said
on
you're
this.
going to do it, I said, cool. When I found out that Keefe got arrested, I took no pleasure in that whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, listen, at the end of the day, if he gets freed, if they say there's not enough evidence to put him there, cool. No problem.
You know what? Is this charge just murder or is it conspiracy?
I'm not sure.
I think I just saw murder on the paperwork I had to sign. I'm like, well, they just booking him for murder. They might be barking up the wrong tree. It might be the wrong charge. You know what I'm saying?
He's charged with the involvement in Tupac's murder.
Oh, the involvement, okay. So they need Suge. Suge, you better not do it. They need somebody to put him in the car.
I mean, if you're in the car and you're if you're a getaway driver, you'll be charged with
It's only one driver.
Well, if you're in the car, I mean, it's fuzzy. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
Listen.
You know, if they can prove that he got him the gun, then yeah, he's part of it.
If I'm in the car, in the passenger seat, somebody driving, two dudes in the back seat, and I'm in the car chilling, we at the light, and I hear some chatter going on. I'm like, what's going on? And somebody opens fire in the back seat.
Yeah.
You can't put that on me.
Right.
You can't put that on me if that's happened, but it's only shit. Unless the girls are saying something, or, you know, unless Suge says, I looked over there and saw him in the car. You know what I'm saying? You know, I know it's a few motherfuckers giving descriptions of cars, but it's a whole lot of cars. Look, I don't know if they got the plates. I don't know what they got. I do know Keefe D got a lot of paperwork. Now, I ain't gonna front. I'm going through that work. That's a fact. So, hey.
Yeah.
Y'all, the exposers will strike again. Like, he got a lot of work, a lot of statements, a lot of guys arrested for this, that, and the other, and then gave statements. So, you know, I don't think a lot of statements gonna hold up. People say anything, right? You look up, dude gave a statement at the time the murder happened, he was 8. So what the fuck, you know what I mean?
According to Greg Kading, Keefe agreed to be an informant. And they actually, and Greg Kading sent me the plane ticket. They actually flew him out to New York to wear a wire to set up Zip.
No, that's
but
real.
Zip was too slick and knew
that's
this,
real. He went
basically,
bad.
you know.
He went bad, and that'll be part of the story as well. He went
Right.
bad. Everybody know he went bad. That's no secret. People saying, well, Wack, you get him out, what if something happened to him? Motherfucker, he was out 26, 27 years.
Right.
Ain't nothing happened to him. Like, what do you mean? It ain't like he just got arrested and people saying, oh, this is the guy. He was running right, wrote a book. He was running around doing interviews.
No, my interview was out for 5 years before he got arrested.
There it goes.
2019. So
there it goes.
It is what it is. But you actually, I remember on Bomb First, you actually blamed Suge for Tupac getting killed.
Yeah.
Because it should have been up to him to protect him better.
Yeah, he wasn't, first of all, you seen what happened. Suge understands who he's dealing with or what that just happened with, right?
Yeah.
I would have off the top shut my artist down. And if I wouldn't have shut him down, I would have moved him in a way to where could nobody get to him. Suge, you know what you doing, don't do. Like, it ain't no security on it.
Okay, so
that's like right now, Vlad.
Yeah, right now, with Blueface. Blueface just jumped on some dude and all his security dudes mob on the dude and beat him up, and you know the guy they just jumped is an active gang member with multiple murders that he's being investigated for. What would you do with Blueface at that point?
15 South.
Back home.
Immediately. We getting back to what we could control. We ain't doing no party, I know it's coming. Certain people you know, if you do like that and let them get away, it's coming. You can't even enjoy the night. So now we got to deal with what we done created. We done started a fire. This ain't my neck of the woods. I don't want to fight the fire here. Let me get back to my home front where I can deal with this. Period. No way.
All right. That would have completely saved Pac's life.
Out of there. Save his life. You know.
Yeah, Suge wouldn't have gotten shot himself.
Nope.
Yeah, 100%.
We out.
You know, even though there's a party at Club 662, whatever. This is more
Y'all
important.
still had a party. Pac wasn't hosting the party. The party just a fight party because Mike Tyson fighting. Yeah. First of all, 48 laws of power. Don't be the common man. Don't be where they expect you to be.
Yeah.
We're out. And as the one that was supposed to have been leading that, he should have made the right decision. Instead, everybody partying and bullshitting, and it happened the way it happened. He should have guided, led. I've been in situations to where my people would tell you shit was going on and they done found something over here, and I gotta be like, you know what? They just searched one car. They know 2 other cars came in previously. They probably called for backup to double back. I didn't signal. By the time 15 officers pull up and saying, what other 2 cars that came we gone.
Yeah.
Out.
Yeah. Because
I wasn't involved. I wasn't caught up in what was going on over here and there. I'm reading and seeing what it is. I'm like, okay, we didn't came in. They know it's 3 cars in the entourage. They done found something over there. A good chance they may double back and want to go back in there. All right, we out. Bro, let's go. We out. By the time I'm getting 2 blocks away, they call me. Bro, they came in on horseback, on foot, 10, 15 deep, talking about where's the other 2 cars, right? Suge was too worried about the wrong thing. You know what I mean? And I believe, you know, it was a situation where, because homies was dependent on him, homies probably saw it another way, just didn't say nothing. But imagine if he would have just been like, you know what? That happened. We know who that is. We know what he about. We know they out here. We out. Let's get on.
Yeah, because they jumped Orlando for a specific reason. Because he tried to snatch a death row chain.
They got Orlando back to Wilshire Boulevard in one of them condos and them penthouses, locked him down. He could have made a phone call. There'd been 100 homies waiting on Wilshire for them to pull up in there.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have made that type of attempt.
Yeah, that's sad, man. Sad situation. Last question. And you know, you and I have done a few interviews, so I feel like we're at the point of actually talking about something like this. A video surfaced of you, of a girl that you were dating at the time.
Wasn't dating.
No?
Fly in, 8 minutes, pussy wasn't right. Asked myself, what you doing? Stopped, jumped in the shower, and told her to go get some lotion. Least you could do was lotion my body. When she went to go get the lotion, she took a picture. Now here goes the problem, right? I fuck naked. I don't take a shower in clothes. So I don't understand. Maybe it's because it's me. I don't understand what's the problem with a female taking a picture of you behind your back, laid on the bed naked.
It was a video though, wasn't it?
No, I don't know.
It was a video of you on Clubhouse, I guess.
A video, picture, whatever it was, right?
Right.
But I'm like, what's the problem?
Now, just to keep it clear, you were separated at the time. Because a lot of people, Wack's married, whatever else.
Here's the thing, right?
You were separated.
Here goes the thing. I've been with my kid's mother 30 plus years. I think because they don't see my kid's mother and me in the media bashing each other, that ain't gonna happen. You gotta remember, we was friends from 9 years old. We got together at 14 years old. We raised each other till we was 40 plus years old. So just cause I don't say this or she doesn't say that, or you don't see me saying like pulling some brick raw, what's her name? Tia
right.
Kemp, that type of shit, right? Don't mean that, people separated. I'm in one house, she in another house, right? I've always said I can't get in trouble. People would always say, bro, I can't get in trouble. I can't get in trouble. At that time, I've been separated since maybe 2021.
Okay.
Sometime 2021. But I still do what I'm supposed to do. On paper, we're still that. We separated. I don't, our business, we still do some business together. She still upholds the things she did in the household. All was doing is making sure certain things is paid. I ain't cut no water off, and she hasn't cut off being accessible. When it comes time for the kids or shit around the household. So, and that's the next step with working on severing that. You know what I mean? Don't get it fucked up. She'll always be the beneficiary of the life insurance policy that I obtained when I was with her. She earned that. I'll never cancel that. When I go, that'll go to her, the kids and things and so forth, right? Right now, it's a significant other in my life. You know what I'm saying? So, and she's building her mountain. Kim has a mountain. She built that mountain 30-something years, right? So at the end of the day, people will say, oh, this, all that. Bro, if you don't really know me, you're not gonna know. Now my team gonna know because they know every time they see me, they see her. And then they seen like a blank, and then they seeing somebody else. My team will know. My team could tell you exactly when the separation happened because they know when I move, I usually move my significant other, then they stop seeing it. Now to this date, if they see her, run across her, or she's in need of whatever, they're gonna treat her as they always would, right? Because they'll tell you, they've never seen us fight, argue, get into it, fucking bust windows. That ain't what we do. We have our little spats. They usually be on text messages. Usually she'll block me, or I'll block her ass,
Yeah, I've been there.
And then when something, I hit the kids, tell your mama to check the damn email or something, and then it'll get back right. But other than that, we're cordial in conversation, and it's usually if it's not about the kids or business, or something that's needed, she's spending her time with, whoever that may be, and I'm spending my time with who I'm spending my time with. That's a lady named R&B.
Well, isn't that technically revenge porn? What she pulled on you?
It could be, but
so remember you were talking about suing her or something like that?
No, I was never talking about doing that because what she did was she lied. See, her first approach was I'm pregnant, right? Which that's cap. I know you ain't pregnant. Then the next approach was, what was the next approach? We watched gay porn in the room.
What?
So you know what I did?
I haven't heard that.
Hold on, don't you know what I did? I went and got when you're in the room, whatever you order on TV or whatever, it's on the bill, right? Right? So that was debunked. Then it was I flew her down on a private jet.
Whoa, okay.
Which JSX is not a fucking private jet. You get a goddamn seat though. It's not a private. You flew JSX before?
I'm supposed to. I haven't yet.
Right? It's cool. You can walk in.
I heard it's dope.
Right?
Yeah.
It's cool, but it's not a private jet.
Yeah. It's a shared private jet.
Nah, it ain't even.
It's not even shared?
I mean, you've been on a PJ before, right?
Not really.
Private jets, it's set up like a private jet.
Yeah.
This is the hopper plane, Dallas to Houston. Dallas to Oklahoma.
LA to
Right.
Vegas.
Yeah, the little joint, right? So once I provided the ticket number, they see that, right? So 8-9 months later goes by and she says, I have video of her putting her fingers in my ass.
Okay.
So you know what I do? I say, listen, I ain't like Big U. Big U sent cease and desist to Loose Cannon because Loose Cannon really got what he said he got. I said, listen, you got my consent to drop the video and I will actually pay you $100,000. I say it again on Vlad. I'll pay you $100,000 cash wire cashier's check the day that you provide the world to video with no court, no lawsuits, right? And then I ended it with violating and disrespecting her and playing a tape of her baby daddy telling her she snitched, turned him in for the money, and he in there doing 16 years.
Damn.
Right? So what I did was antagonize you and embarrass you what was real. I'm letting you hear what's real about you in front of all these people listening. And I'm giving you permission in my consent and going on record that legally I will owe you $100,000 to drop what you say you have. Now let me ask you something, Vlad. You think she would have dropped it?
Yeah. For $100,000? I'm sure she would have.
What's the only reason why you won't drop it?
Because it doesn't exist. Yeah. No, listen, man.
But it's me, Wack. Anything you say about Wack, if somebody say, we saw Wack smoking crack under the car, they ain't even got to see it. They gonna believe it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We're in an era, though, right now where not only do you have to deal with allegations, but now you have to deal with footage and photos and AI images and whatever else. I remember
AI is crazy.
Yeah, listen.
AI is getting crazy.
Listen, I had a female that was mad at me over a video, a flashback video we posted, and she posted a picture of a naked dude with his legs over his head, with the face fuzzed out, and said, oh, look at Vlad. And I'm looking at this picture going like, this isn't me. Number one, the guy's got earrings, right? I've never had earrings in my life. Look at any picture of me.
But see the difference between me and
so
you?
I had to go to her and say, listen, you got to post this isn't real because it's just not. It's not me.
But I'm saying, did you get mad or did you laugh at it?
I got a little annoyed because this is the first time it happened to me.
You can't beat me
I got a
with
little
lie.
annoyed because, I had to figure out how to deal with it because I said, if I post and say this is fake, that'll bring all the attention to it. Where it was literally kind of underground at this point. A couple of Twitter pages that posted it. So I just go to her and say, look, this is fake. And she's like, well, take down my videos. Take down the video the interview you reposted, and I'll say it's fake. I'll say, okay, cool. I'll take down the video. She posted publicly that it was fake.
What video did you have? A video up of her?
It was, I'm not going to say who it is, but it was her talking about a celebrity that she had a problem with a long time ago. She's cool with this celebrity now. So she had a problem me reposting it because it was going to put a strain on that relationship.
She kind of like pressured you to do some shit you didn't have to do.
Yeah.
With some fake shit.
And I'm like, that's fine. That's fine. I'm cool with that.
You got
Yeah, I got extorted to a certain degree. I'll admit that on tape. I got extorted to a certain degree. But it was like, this picture is really not me.
But see,
it
this is
really
the thing with me,
me.
Vlad. I've been living this life 35 years.
Yeah.
Dealing with this jungle shit. I'm 47 years old. It's like, my shit is so impeccable, it's so clean, it don't work with me. Because whatever I really did and really said, I really meant that. I really did that. The made up shit, bro, they just put up a thing, me and 4 extras fighting. It ain't me or 4 extras.
There's a video of a dude that kind of looks like you that was getting hit.
Now, did you see
I didn't see their face, though.
Did you see the beginning of the video?
No.
The beginning of the video clearly shows you 2 dudes, look like they from the country or something. It's not me or it's not him. But the fact that people think it's me, right? They praying for my downfall, right? And at the end of the day, they gonna run with it. So I laugh at it, right? I laugh at it. They say I got knocked out at Rolling Loud. The dude they say knocked me out don't even say he knocked me out. You know how many cameras at Rolling Loud, Vlad?
What?
If Wack100 in Game and Blueface is walking in, what do you think happens immediately with these
Everyone pulls out their phones.
Okay. Game rolls, Blueface stops over here, and in the middle of that, Wack100 gets knocked out. But there's no footage.
Right.
Come on, man. But the thought of them wanting that to happen, right? That's what it is. Right now you got other situations to where that really happened, right? That really happened. You can put it in front of them, put the audio, they can see it right here, and they'll act like they didn't see anything at all. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
But they can say something, create something, and that's it. But this is the world we live in. You know, as long as they paying attention to you like that, you know, I guess you got their attention. And as long as I got their attention, I'm gonna tell them to go to IncredibleDiapers.com. You can go to Amazon and cop you a pack, my guy. That's a fact.
There you go. You still got us up to call with me and Nick Cannon, by the way.
Bro, I did that call.
And what happened?
Y'all got to get on the phone.
All right. That's
Y'all
fine.
got to get on the phone. Actually, I got a Nick Cannon video shoot coming up.
Oh, you want me to show up?
July 10th.
All right.
We're going to put it together.
All right. I'm going to roll up.
That's a fact.
I'm going to roll up.
All right, love.
Well, Wack, man, pleasure to have you back in. Like I said, you're now a regular guest. And for everyone who's wondering if I'm somehow doing this behind Adam's back or whatever else, when you and I first had this conversation about you being a regular guest, I said, I'm going to have a call with Adam first about doing it.
I didn't appreciate that shit.
Well, you
I'm
said,
like, what you mean?
said, oh, you know, I ain't got no, Adam doesn't decide what I do or whatever.
I said, Adam don't dictate what I do. That's my business partner.
But what I said was, Adam is my friend.
Yeah.
And on a personal level, I'm just going to give him the heads up.
Yeah.
Just so he's not surprised when it happens. On a friendship level.
Black people, pay attention. The white guys are sticking together, okay? They ain't doing nothing behind each other's back. That's the bottom line to it. And you know what, yeah. Adam, I don't know what the hell Adam told you. Did he laugh?
No, he said it's all good. Go for
it.
Did
he laugh? Well, I don't know what he told you. But
no, he said
at the end of the day, they're leading by example.
It was
How
all
about
good.
that?
It was all
good. I said,
good.
what you mean you gonna check with Adam? That's my business partner. We do a show together. Yeah, that's my friend. I'm still going to make sure it's cool.
Yeah, and that's what I did.
That's what he did.
And, you know, I just wanted to make sure that no one's surprised or whatever else, because Adam has done a lot of things that he didn't have to do for me. All right, so Wack100, man, always a pleasure. You're going to see him on in the near future. Wish you all the best. Peace.
Rest up.